Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We have the voice behind the camera, the wizard. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you straight from New York, Ishmael. Come on, in the studio.
Let's go with y'all.
Is that Ishmael the comedian?
Yes, Ishmael Gaynor. Ishmael Gaynor. I'm like online. I go by Funny Guy Ish, but Ishmael Gaynor. Just
Ishmael Gaynor.
Yeah.
Ishmael Gaynor. Nice having you in the studio, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate having me, man. Yes, big dog.
Give me some. At any given time, I might say, give me free, right? Give me free.
Give me free.
No, because some people fuck it up, right? So
okay, got what you say. Go 1, 2, 3.
All right, that's what. If I was to give me free, that's what I want. All right.
Got you. All right, give me 3.
Yeah, that's what's up. Ishmael.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
I'm glad.
I'm actually excited and I'm intrigued. I'm interested.
Okay.
About getting to know you, knowing who you are, what you're about, where you're from.
Okay.
Yeah. How do we meet?
We met at a comedy show. I came from America. My guy. I always pronounce his name wrong, so I'm trying to make sure I got his name. It's Fio.
I don't know the guy, so
he's the guy who he doesn't host the show, but he like kind of books the show sometimes.
Okay.
So he had booked me on that show, and then I came through, did stand up, and he was like, "Yo, come to my podcast." So I was like, "Yeah, of course.
That's what
That's what we come to. Yeah, that's what we come out here to do.
So
yeah, appreciate it, brother.
How long you been doing comedy?
7 years. I started in 2014, and I started in Washington D.C.
Yeah,
which is. It's where the capital is, but if you don't know, it's the big black part of America.
Black part of America.
Yeah, it's a lot of black people that live in DC. So I started comedy there, and I just been doing it ever since. I moved to New York 5 years ago, and I've been doing it in New York.
Oh, so you're originally from DC?
No. So I'm from Yonkers, New York.
Okay.
Yonkers, come on.
Yes. So if y'all know DMX, DMX, Jadakiss, Styles P, Sheek Louch, Mary J. Blige,
the real ones.
Yonkers. Yeah,
the real ones.
So you know the hitters. But yeah, so I ended up going to school in Maryland in high school, and then I just I started comedy in DC, and then
did you commute?
From DC, from Maryland,
from Yonkers to.
No, so I moved. Okay. So yeah, I did commute. I guess in that way.
You commuted one time.
I did, yes, but I went to school in Maryland, and then when I just started comedy in DC. When I was starting. It was some well-known comedians from DC.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle's from DC. Earthquake. He just has a Netflix special.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. DC Curry. There's a ton of people like Tommy Davidson. These are like pretty well-known comedians. So I was just happy that I got to start in one of the best scenes in the world. So it was really good. Yeah. And then I moved to New York. New York is the greatest comedians is walking around. Like the other week before he got slapped on stage, I saw Chris Rock. He was at the Comedy Cellar, and like there's a lot of dudes coming up that we all hang at the Comedy Cellar occasionally. So it's cool.
So you said it was black.
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah, it's called, like, the nickname for DC is called Chocolate City.
Okay.
So just meaning of how many black people is there. Yeah. So it's like,
What's that? What is the?
I got a cousin out there as well. So I got two cousins that live out there.
You do look like a DC dude a little bit. You do look like, you know what I'm saying? He got a little Wale looking to him. You know what I'm saying? Like the rapper Wale. Y'all see Wale? He looked like Wale a little bit, bro.
He's hiding all the time. No one really knows.
Yeah. They don't, but yo,
he hides.
That's what we could just put a picture of Wale and man, like your cousin Earl, like both of them together, like that's.
I tell you like this guy's breaking it down.
but not yeah. DC, it's a big black city. We had
What's the reason behind that? Is there a reason behind that?
Not really. It's not really. It's more like I don't know. I'm a very Afrocentric person, so I like doing stuff for us and with people that look like I'm an intra-community person. So like meaning like intra-community is like you have your community. You're from I'm guessing from London, right? Specifically. So like in London, I would be developing with people who also are in my community. So like I'm very much about my community. People like us that would be in my community. Okay. So like with creatives and stuff like that. So I didn't mean to mention that it was a black city. I just it just is part of how I am. I was just like, it's a black city. So
it's good. I think it's good. Shout out loud, as the saying goes. I'm black and I'm proud. If there's something there that's positive for us,
basically, yes.
Why don't we talk about it? You know what I'm saying?
It's a very beautiful city. I love DC. It's a very nice place. I've
been there once.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Yeah.
Do you think because it's not that far from Atlanta, is it?
No, it's far from Atlanta. It's it's not
See,
far from New York.
Okay,
it's
I thought it was far from Atlanta because I went to DC. I don't know how they managed. They got me from Atlanta to DC.
Ooh, what flight?
We drove.
Wow, that's about 10 hours driving. Yeah, so depends. There's gonna be somebody on your podcast like it's 8 actually, but it's like it depends on how fast you drive. About 10 is like the longest I would say it takes. Yeah. But like because I made from Atlanta to New York in like 12 hours, and DC and New York is about 4.5 hours away. So like, but I made it from Atlanta to New York in 12. So if you are driving somewhere, you can make that distance. But yeah, so DC's closer to New York. It's like right, not that far from Baltimore,
Maryland.
From Baltimore, Maryland, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and like Richmond, Virginia. They're like all right near there. They're like all within an hour or two away from each other. So yeah, that's basically that.
So what was you like growing up? Tell me about you. See, what we want to do here, we want to hear about your life. You understand? We want to hear about the man behind the comedy and then in front of the comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Now,
so I'm want to hear about Yonkers.
Yonkers, yeah. We'll get some stories.
Yonkers is wild. Yonkers is a wild place. Like compared to other places, it's like we don't really get a lot of shine. We are not New York City. We're like right outside of the city. So, so like they would like how people would tell you we're the suburbs of the Bronx, which is a borough. This is like a sub city inside of New York City.
Yeah.
So like, so we're there, and our neighborhoods is dangerous. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's dangerous. But
how big is it?
It's big.
Yeah.
It's big. Like, we got about over 1 million people in Yonkers.
Wow.
So, but people don't know that. Like, if you ain't never been there before, you would be like, oh man, it's all right, but it's about 1 million, some change in there. Yeah. And it's big, and it got to be over 60 miles, like in general, like in all directions. Yeah. So it's big. It's a big city.
Wow.
It's pretty large. Yeah. And there's a next town over called Mount Vernon. That's where Denzel Washington's from, the actor. He's from Mount Vernon. That place is also kind of bad, but I lived in both of those areas. Like my father's from Mount Vernon, and I'm from Yonkers. So, but yeah, you were saying about me growing up. I got 5 other siblings. Wow. So we grew up in a big family.
5, yeah.
Yeah, 5.
I'm back in.
Yeah, you back
in.
Yeah.
Boys, girls.
So 2 sisters, and I have 3 brothers.
Where are you in the?
I'm the 5th child. So I got 1 younger brother. Yeah, I have 1 younger brother. Okay. So that's about it. So 6 of us total. I have 5 other siblings. Yeah. But so I just was like the funny. Like all of my family's funny, but like I was just like the one kid who was like just. I don't want to say I'm the funniest. I think my sister's funnier than me, but she doesn't do stand up. So like now,
older, younger than you.
She's older than me. Also, I only have a younger brother, so the rest of them is older than me. She's my immediate older sister. Like I have another sister who's older than her, but like she's my immediate older. She's probably the funniest in our family. Like she'll make everybody laugh, but outside of her. I'm top dog. I'm top dog when it comes to funny, but
doing comedy and stand up is like making people laugh. And doing comedy is two different things.
Because I was a funny person, and then comedy you gotta kind of learn the art form of like how to make people laugh. Different people too is
timing
as
different.
Well. Yeah, timing. Yeah, all of that. Like, because like I think most people, especially people who are black, most of us are funny. Just naturally day-to-day life, just getting through it. You make jokes. They call them the dozens. Old people call them the dozens, or like used to call it Jonin in DC. What's that? It's like I joke about you. Like I'll say a joke. Like say like you'll see somebody who's fresh. Like you'll see your boy come in. You be like, oh, but boy, you fresh. And then but they'll joke about your outfit too. But they meant it's a compliment. But it also is like, like, bro, like I see you. It's like I see you, big dog. And it's like sometimes. We'll make jokes like that, and so we'll be like somebody, how like you'll see somebody with dirty shoes, and you'll joke about his shoes or something like that. We'll be like, oh man, them shoes is dirty, like bro, you need to get whatever.
I'm gonna be like here, like I think a couple of acts as well. Yeah. See where something you be like, man, you getting paid, man.
Yeah,
you got some money. You're making money.
Exactly.
You see one pair of Jordans and they going crazy. Like,
yeah. So it's like it's kind of like that. So like we have a lot of funny people, and then you gotta kind of learn the art of being able to like. Self-generate that funny, and when you're able to do that, you just got to keep doing it over and over and over and over again. But yeah, it's like that's the difficult part of comedy. But it's also like doing jokes for different people, just even within like just our culture, just a black person's culture. Like being black, like they think like we'll like most people will think you just walk into a black room and just because I'm black, you black, we gonna laugh at the same thing. That's not the case. Yeah, no, like I'll walk into a room and it's a whole Caribbean room, and so you gotta have all the Caribbean jokes that you can, and you got to continue to keep going back to that Caribbean room and hitting them with Caribbean jokes. But those Caribbean jokes don't work in like young black professionals rooms. Yeah. So like that can go over, but you won't kill as hard if I go into a young black professionals. Now I got to talk about like work management and like your boss and you know what I'm saying, and dealing with people like that.
Relate
and
to and identify with, innit?
And then hood rooms is different. Hood rooms is a whole nother beast. You got to talk about baby mamas and like and Jordans and different stuff, and then you kind of perfect that niche, and then you go to like, you know, mainstream rooms where it's like everybody, where it's like you run into like Asian people, Spanish people, white people, all of that, and you got to then make all of them laugh at stuff from your life, and you start to realize there's more connections than there are differences. You know, like there's more. We all go through the same thing. We just the way we say it might be different. So that you might, you know, so that's that. And then you can also talk about like, of course, always like the weather, or you can always talk about stuff that's like all common. But when you get to very specific things, it make it really nice to be able to talk about all of that. But it takes so long to get that funny. To do all of that consistently, time and time again, it's like it take a long time. I'm blessed in New York that you have all of those people there. So there's a lot of Caribbeans in New York. There's a lot of Africans in New York. There's a lot of big Brazilian culture, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. So you got to like you learn to make all of these people laugh, and then when you go and travel everywhere else, you got to understand that also that just because there's a hood black person in New York, he's different than a hood black person in Alabama or London. California or London. Like y'all we even though we both speak English, we speak two different type of Englishes. So then I gotta come here and trial and error again of trying to make you laugh, and then I find something and then I expound on that, and then so it kind of like goes from there. I'm real passionate about comedy.
So you should be, man. So you should be.
Yes.
You seem real fucking happy too, man.
Yeah, I love comedy, man. I love the psychology of what makes people laugh. Like why is that funny? And then people sometimes don't know why it's funny, but they be like, it's funny. And
they be laughing their asses off, but they don't know why.
Yeah, sometimes
your energy just gives you off. But I want to ask you again.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was you like as a child? I want to hear about your
I was growing up in
Yonkers, growing up with these other 5 siblings, where you fitted in. What was you like? How did you find that you was funny? Is there any times your jokes saved you? Like
jokes saved me all the time. I'm gonna say that all the time. I'm so sorry. No, you good, brother. You good. That's my son. That's cool. It's cool. Jokes save me all the time because having siblings, my brothers used to beat me up for anything. So like you know how like you'll listen to music, you'll listen to certain songs. True, though. Yeah, my brother would just beat me up to the song. Like he would just be like, "You don't care, yo, I can't listen to California Love by by Tupac for the rest of my life, bro." Every time I think about it, he just used to come in like California Love and just like beat me up. Like as he's singing the song on beat, he's like dun, 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 like just beat me up. Yeah, my 2 older brothers, and so yeah, but I used to tell jokes to kind of like keep them at bay. Yeah, keep them at bay. They're not too much older than me, but they're like 4 years is a lot compared like when you were a kid. So like he was 4 years old. Both of my brothers are 4 years older than me. So
the twins.
No, they're like 6 months. They're 6 months apart from each other. So yeah, my mom had it's a surgical thing. She had a bunch of kids back to back. We all a year apart from each other, except my younger brother. He's 2 years apart from me. But like other than that, so we all 6 years apart. So all of us, I'm 31. My older brother's 35, 36, and my youngest brother's 28.
So she just got out the way.
All of them at one time. Yeah. Premature. My 2 older brothers are both premature. Me and my younger brother are not, but the rest of them are premature. So that's like that. Yeah. So she couldn't. Yeah. So, but the blessing is that we all here.
Thanks God.
Yeah. We all here, and we all get to like laugh about it now that we older. Like, dang man, I got a brother that's 6 months apart from each other. That's wild,
that's
son.
crazy.
Yeah,
And it's the same mother and father as well.
Yep. All got the same mother, same father. Then my mother got married at 19. Wow. So my mother and father got married young. Wow. They got married real young. Yeah, and but yeah, being
they live in the same place.
No, my dad's from the next town over in Mount Vernon, and my mom's from Yonkers.
Even though they were married, did they live separately? Or?
No, they lived together. We lived. You know, it wasn't none of those. They got divorced when I was like 14.
Okay,
so I like most of my life I lived with both of my parents, both of them, and then when I was about 14, they my mom and dad got divorced, but they still lived together for like 2 years after they were divorced, and then we moved to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And
Georgia,
yeah, that's where I graduated. That's where I graduated high school and stuff.
Nice down there.
But it was beautiful.
Did you move with your dad as well, or
not? When I became 18, I moved back with my dad, and
so
then
when you moved to Atlanta, was that just your mom and your siblings?
Yeah, just my mom, just me, my mom, and all of my siblings was out of the house already. So it's just I was the oldest. I was the oldest at the time, and my younger brother. Yeah. So we lived in Atlanta with her, and then my dad. Then when I turned 18, I lived with my dad. And so it was cool. It was cool living like it was cool being an adult living with my dad. Yeah. Because when I was a kid, like there was just certain things he couldn't tell me, you know, as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have a son, so it's like you understand. Like you can tell your son certain stuff, but when you're a grown man and he a grown man, it's like a different bonding level.
Yeah.
So
different kind of communication.
Yeah, like
definitely.
I learned boundaries from my dad. My dad used to teach me boundaries, like how to deal with women and boundaries. Because that's a lesson you don't know if you don't have a dad. Like, and not trying to clown anybody who doesn't have dads, but that's like the first lesson that I learned that keeps me and women not mad at each other. It's like,
what was the lesson? How did you teach
the lesson is this: is that like whenever women come anywhere, like if this is their house, right? Say if this is your house and you bring a woman into your house, this is now her house. This whole house is her house, and she gonna make sure everything is in order, everything is within those boundaries.
If she been a woman to move in with you, or something.
Yeah, if she was moving in with you, you and her got to that level, and everything in that house is gonna be her house, and she's going to put everything in a certain place and in order and things like that, and you just have to know the boundaries of where your space is. So she'll give you, like, it's weird, she'll give you a space. Like you'll go from having a 2,000 square foot house to really you got a 200 square foot room. That's yours. But you kind of just understand how to deal with women in that regard. And like sometimes women need their space. If you're dead to that stuff, you're good. Yeah, I think that's like the biggest challenge is when you in a relationship. It's like if you don't understand that boundary in the beginning. You're like, bitch, this is my house. I pay the rent. I do all of this. Why are you telling me? But then you start to understand, like, you like, you know what? It is my house, but it's our home. Yeah. And so how do I make this work?
But you're the leader of the home.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, I still, you still pay the rent. You still do your stuff. But, like, that's why whenever I left with a girl, like whenever I broke up with a girl or something like that, we never had any major complaints. I would just be like, yo, I ain't happy, I'm out. Like, and then so I never kind of like was one of them dudes. Smart, but like she was never one of them people who was just like, oh, like he was overbearing or something. Like I gave her space when she needed me, I was there, that type of stuff, so like I attribute that to my dad. My dad really taught me how to be able to deal with women in that regard. I would have never learned that ever. It would have been trial and error my whole life. But then having a dad kind of taught me that. Like when I was like 18 to like about 22, he like repeatedly just kept telling me that, and I was like, man, I don't trust this shit. But as you trial and error, believe him now. Yeah, with 100%. I call him all the time and be like, bro, yeah, you was right. You was right. I don't know. You was right, bro.
Did he remarry?
Huh?
Did he?
No, he never remarried. No. He does have a lady, but he did not remarry. I think he got married so young that he was just like, I'm good on being married later on. And he's also like in his early 50s. He's like in his mid to late 50s. So he kind of like, yeah, I don't need to get remarried. He's like, yeah, I've been strapped down all my prime, bro. He's like, I've been going all my prime.
You know. Being married in America and being married anywhere else, I think it's totally different.
I believe it.
Like when an American woman you have a ring on your finger and you're married to an American woman, it's like you might as well have sold your soul, not to the devil,
to a degree,
like but just sold everything. You see that thing about you said the woman moves in and you got what did you say, a 400? What did you say? You got 2,000
square feet. Yeah,
it goes down to 200, whatever.
Yeah. So it's like
try that going to 2 centimeters and shit. Like I'm saying, and even those 2 centimeters, they still be under
intense scrutiny.
You
under intense scrutiny in that moment.
Why is that? Do you think like that's because I've been married to an American? That's why that's coming. It's coming from a place of. It's coming from where we'll call it where you can play a place of whatever. But the American women are just different, bro.
I just think that
they're amazing too. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
amazing.
No,
I'm not just saying that as well. There's some amazing women in America, but when they put that ring on, it's like they lose their goddamn mind.
I don't know.
That's everywhere though.
Yeah, I think
it's different. God, at least because sorry.
No. You go ahead.
It'd be like you're married to someone. If the way women behave, like a woman will see you with a wedding ring on, and she'll be shit scared in America because she knows you've got a wife. Yeah. If you ain't got the wedding ring on, she won't be scared of you. If you got the ring on, the way your wife behaves, it's just mad. It's almost like I can't explain it. It's like you're branded. Cause I've never seen anything. I've been with a lot of women, bro. You know that, innit? I've never seen anything like this behavior, and not just for myself. For other cats as well. The way their wives came into certain places and went on because it was their husband, not their boyfriend, not their brother, not this. That's my husband. Nigga, if you think you go with my husband, and then be like, bruv, it's just it's a whole nother level. I've never seen it before.
I love
That's why I have
it,
to ask you, like, cause you've grown up in it.
Yeah, it's I honestly don't have.
It's crazy.
I don't have an educated answer. I have a hypothesis.
Okay,
what I believe.
Okay.
I just think women when just like I was saying earlier, like they improve whatever they grab. So like when they attach themselves to something, it's like whenever you give a woman a job in general, it doesn't matter what it is, they always excel, usually the best at their job consistently. Not saying that like dudes don't. Because dudes, when we passionate about something, we will excel to the furthest of whatever. Like I can tell you love podcasting and stuff. You probably gonna be like, yo, man, I'm gonna get this thing until you take care of my family, all that good stuff.
You know what? I like talking.
Yeah,
and I like good people like yourself. That's where it comes from. That's what's up. That's what it is.
But
give me free. I like that. That's what's up. Come on. Yeah, go ahead. You go break this.
But I think that when women they grab stuff and like their part of boundaries is that what's theirs is theirs, and like they will. Naturally they're nurturers. So like when you come in, like even though you're somebody's wife, like you're the wife, they will die to protect what's theirs. Like they feel like look, this is my man, and like I'm riding with whatever. When you have a really good woman, she will ride and protect you for anything. She don't care. She'll be like, nigga, I will murder everybody in this house for my man. You know what I'm saying?
I have to say that as well. Sorry to interrupt you. In the same breath as I said they go crazy with ring your finger, they are very loyal, very supportive.
Yes.
I've never met. Well, Nigerian. There's Nigerians as well, but I'm not married. I've never married a Nigerian, but Nigerians are probably better anyway. But anyway, I've never met.
It's gonna be all in Nigeria in these comment sections.
No, but I've never met like a demographic of women that are serious, like he said. Whatever it is, we're gonna kill someone, we're gonna go and kill the bull, we're gonna make this dinner, we're gonna make this money, whatever it is, they're behind you a full % of the way. Where other places they'll be, you can't do that and let me know when you've killed the bull or you've got the money, and then come back and share it with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Yeah, but
different category, man.
Also, like it's just I think also like how in America just our plight as people of color in America with like civil rights movement and stuff like that. A lot of that like we don't get to talk about in like history is that like it's a lot of black women who were in that front and like that go unnoticed, that was in the movements with Dr. King and Malcolm X. Malcolm X's whole team basically was women. Like outside of like he did have a lot of black males there too as well, but it was women, and his wife really held him down. And and you had Dr. King. That whole movement is nothing but black women and young black women. And like people make it think like when you watch those movies, you be looking at them like, man, these is 40-year-old people. No, these dudes was like 20. Like they was like 20, like 18, 19. These was like young women who was like, yo, I believe in this movement and I believe we have a better future. And it was, then of course, other black men and other black women who probably didn't as much was in line with that movement. They started to all come along and it built and like, So I think that also comes like a generational thing. I think like because we had to just fight and scratch for everything, it's kind of like, this is mine, and if you come here, I'm killing you. Like I'm taking you out. And it's kind of like, my mom is like that. My mom does not play. I can tell like 30 stories about my mom beating up other children over me.
Wow.
Grown woman just like,
what?
I will fuck you up.
I want one of them stories, bro.
Yeah.
I need one of them stories, bro.
I'll tell you what. Okay, look. So in Yonkers, there's this place called Trevor Park, right? Trevor Park is it's not a dangerous park, but people from Yonkers would understand. It's a well-known park in general. It's So my grandmother lived up the street from the park. So my two older brothers, she tells them like, go outside and play. It was earlier in the day. So my brother, we playing basketball at this park, and it's like about a 13-year-old boy. They're about 10 and 9. So my two brothers, 10 and 9, my older brother Yadel, he's 10, and my brother Early is 9. Yeah. So they're going to play basketball. Basically, they get beat up by these boys at the basketball court. So they come and get my mom, and my mom, my mom is like in her early 20s, like her mid to early 20s or something like that. So she's like pissed. She's like in the house, like she calling her sisters. She's like, my son got beat up outside. Fuck that. We going to kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? We going to fuck these kids up. I'm like, in my head, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, my mom could have went to prison. Fuck her and beat up some children. So I'm like, so she called, and my aunt, she from Alabama. So from the deep south. So she ain't played no games. So she always carried a gun in her purse. So she came out there with the gun. You know what I'm saying? Ready to do people in. So it's a good amount of kids. They got jumped by like 15 kids. Yeah. So my mom gets all of her sisters. They come out to the park. They like see my brother. My brother points out the kid. My mom is just like, yeah, well, fight him again, right? So they fight. My brother lose again. He did lose. But but then my mom and
it was a 1-on-1 though, right?
It was a 1-on-1, yeah.
Which is fair enough, yeah.
No. You gotta let the fair one go first.
Yeah.
And then when you lose the fair one, then you gotta just beat everybody up. So then there's no like, so then now everybody just know, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you lost the 1-on-1, you won this, but you taking the L in some way. You leaving out here with this loss some way. So but it was a wild situation, man.
She beat up the kid after.
She did beat up the kids afterwards. Yeah, I was the part I was trying to not say, but yeah, she beat up the children after. She beat up them children afterwards. She didn't care, and she came and she will tell you the story proudly.
I love it.
I fucked them kids up. You damn right.
Yeah,
you damn right. They should have known. They should have known not to touch my son. Like, but that's my mom, man. That's my mom. Nice. She does not play around. She does not play around at all. Nice. She be at comedy shows and people be heckling me. And my mom be ready to like. She carry an actual real hammer in her bag. And she be like, yo, you talk again. Like, you got to see me now. I'm like, Mom, we not going to jail. We're not going to prison for this. Because now I got to clean up the whole show. It's like, like, come on, man. We got lawyers involved. So don't heckle me. Don't run the stage and slap me. My mom is there with the hammer, son. We getting everybody. What
was it like then when your parents split? What kind of energy was that? She said they stayed together for 2 years afterwards.
Yeah, it was a little difficult at first because my dad was it was just difficult because it's just like it's different. It's like they was together my whole life, so I never had seen them split. So like when they had finally split, it was like slowly, like you knew something was going to happen, but you didn't know when they was going to split. So it was just like we moved to Maryland. And then my mom was like, my mom just let us know when we got to Maryland, like, yeah, well, I'm getting divorced from your father, yada, yada, yada. And it was like, it was different because now I would see my dad every day. And then I didn't see my dad every day. I had to call him on the phone and it was like weird. And he used to come on the weekends. And then it was like, then he was a musician. So sometimes he got to make money on the road and stuff. So sometimes you wouldn't see him. So then you would go like 2 months, and I'm only talking to him on the phone. Yeah. From then when I had a problem or something, I could walk in a room and be like, "Well, Dad, I'm funky. Yeah. I don't know how to deal with this." Oh wow. any of that type of stuff. The stupid stuff about having a dad. So it was difficult, but I would say it got better when I got as an adult because I was still like my mom's a good mom, but she It was like a reverb or something.
No.
Oh yeah. Nah, these joints pick up everything. I heard. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. So
spy mic.
Yeah, no. So it got better when we got older because like my dad and my mom was like, I got to be able to bond with my dad differently, like understanding like why they got divorced, hearing both sides of their story of why they got divorced. Because whenever you live with a parent, you hear their side, you don't hear the other side. You know what I'm saying? And you don't, And so to just understand both of them, and I got to, as a younger adult, just understand them as just regular people, not as just like, these my two parents. Yeah. Like understanding that like, like what they had with their dreams, all of that stuff. And I was kind of like just blessed in that regard to understand that like my dad was 25 when he married my mom, and so like he was young. And if anybody's ever been 25 and you got 6 kids at 25,
he had 6 kids at 25.
I'm sorry, Malik, he was 27 when he had 6 kids.
Oh, 6.
He's 25 when I was born.
Wow,
he was 27 when he had my younger brother.
That's a big one to carry, man.
Yeah, I mean, so to have that on your mind, you 27, you have a whole family, you got kids, and then you oh, that's me. That's my fault.
I thought someone trying to get in the back door.
That was my fault. That was my vibranium right there. That was the vibranium. That's the vibraniam right there.
Wakanda forever.
Of course. In Bombay. No, I'm saying. But my dad was to be that young, and when I was like 27, I don't have any kids, and I'm not married. So, but I couldn't imagine having 6 kids and being a family, being married, being responsible, and he owned his own business. It was a lot. He had a lot pulling at him, and they just, it kind of was it's a positive because they both weren't ready at that time to be that responsible, and then so now they're older. My mom is remarried. My dad is not. But like my mom is a much better woman now. You know what I'm saying? Because she already had been married, and then when she got married the second time, she made sure like she knew exactly how to be able to commit. All of the things she failed in the first one, she was able to rectify in the second one.
How'd you feel about the second dude?
He cool. He cool.
You know,
say something repeatedly.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm gonna say
that.
He cool.
He cool, dude. He different. I'm an adult, so it's like different. Like when so when I see him, it's just like, all right, man, it's a dude. It's my mom's husband. But like people try to be funny. They be like, oh, you got a stepdad. I'm like, bro, I'm a grown man. This not a stepdad. It's a dude that just married my mom. But he's a good dude. He owned his own construction company. They had a very nice wedding, which was weird because when you like poor, you got to help out with the wedding sometimes. I had to help out with my mom's wedding. I was mad, but
you're not poor, you rich, man.
Yeah, financially, at the time, I was definitely didn't have as much money, but it was cool. It was a cool situation. We went, and he's been a great dude. He was the first person I ever met that had a bar inside his house. I never seen that before.
So why didn't he have the money to pay for the wedding then?
He did, but but my mom was like, I'm not having an expensive wedding. Like she was like, the first time she had an expensive wedding, and this time she was like, nah. She was like, she married for love. She was like, I'm not here. She was like, I don't care about having a huge party. Yeah. And I agree. That's like a big thing. I don't want to have no huge wedding. I want to have it like almost like we gonna pay for the church, and then we'll have just a fire ass party, but like just a regular party. I don't need it to be nothing crazy.
No big.
It was beautiful though. I liked it.
What do you think about that? And what do you think about? You're saying you have small. What do you think about major weddings and small weddings? I would just like the celebration of love, what it really, really, really means. Like,
well, I like it if it's cultural. If it's cultural and it's like, like I've been to a Nigerian wedding where they was like throwing money and stuff like that and all of that.
Nigeria. Woo! Yeah. Come on, Nigeria.
I'm
Nigerian. Yes.
Yes, I like that. So I like when it's cultural, but when it's just like to not be facetious, not to be facetious, but to be like, I got the biggest dick, we got the best party, we got the best wedding. Like it's like, bro, that don't mean nothing for love. Like we don't need, and like especially where we are as a community, I don't feel like we need stuff like that. Our money can go to better places, better things, and better stuff than to spend $100,000. That's dollars. So I don't even know what that is in pounds. It's like you spend $100,000 on a party, basically. It's like, Why y'all gonna be 100,000 in debt? You could put that 100,000 towards a house, towards like, or like investing in a business. A laundromat costs $10,000 to get in America. You can buy a laundromat, a whole entire laundromat in certain areas, not everywhere, because there's gonna be some people in New York and other places be like, nah, bro, you can't. But like in New York, you could get a laundromat. I mean, not in New York, in like Maryland, like in other places that's not a major city, you can get a laundromat for like 10 grand, and like you can own and operate a laundromat, and like. There's people who don't have houses, but it's like, it's that type of thinking. It's like when you get with a partner, you got to be like, look, man, we not spending this type of money. Like, I want a house. Like, what's the things that's important? If the party's important, then maybe y'all should just not get married. If the party's important, maybe y'all shouldn't get married.
Yeah,
But if y'all both on board and like, yo, I'm cool with owing this money and we have a plan on paying this back, cool. But like, if you not, then like that cheap ass wedding, doing a wedding right in this little backyard right here is just as cool, and you gonna remember it just as much. It ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter as much.
I feel like, see, for me, I would probably do the party and the ceremony separate. I wouldn't mind like traveling, even if I was traveling or did it here, but the ceremony I'd want to keep like almost to a ridiculous minimal.
Yeah.
Ridiculous minimal.
Yeah, that food and all that
party,
stuff.
I've been a promoter, so I know how to throw a good party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I could throw a good party without
spending
paying
all
that much money.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like,
So
but also,
overpriced, they want, was it doves and this and that? It costs too much fucking money.
You know how much it costs? You know how much it costs to get them doves? Them doves like $3,000. That's no.
But they're useless as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and you also got to pay a dude.
Do they come back
to catch the? No, you got to pay a dude to get the doves. You can't even leave the place without the doves coming back. It's wild.
Yes. Think that even in funerals, they let the doves go, and it's big money for that dove.
Yeah, man.
But then where's the dove going? It's just
I wonder. Don't even put the funeral, bro. Put me in a can. I'm good. You don't need to put me in no ground, nothing. I'm whatever the cheapest way of me getting up out of here. I'm
gone. If it's need be, you know what I mean?
I'm gone, bro. Let me go.
Let me ask you something. In this, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. Mm-hmm. A lot of shit's gone down, like in the past 31 years.
Yes.
Like a lot of shit's gone down, innit?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like internationally, internally in just America.
Yeah.
America, London, all that. People dying, presidents.
Yeah.
Like there's numerous things.
Yeah.
What have been the most what word can I use? I want to say exciting. The most
dramatic, I say, or something?
Not dramatic, just the most eye-opening for you within your time. 'Cause remember, you've had the black presidents in your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The George Floyd killing was in your time, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know as well.
So I grew up in a pro-black family, so I was not like the. So when I say a pro-black family, I mean that like we're always about the betterment and advancement of people that look like us, black people. So
and can I just say before you go into that,
Yeah.
I love the way you worded it before, because you never used any of the like connotations of color that you don't like, but you hit it home and it showed.
Culture.
It exuded from you
thank
what you're about to explain right now,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you come from.
Yeah.
And you need to not stop leaving things out,
Yeah.
because I only know what you give me. I can't dig into your brain.
You're
So
right,
that,
you're right.
that, if
You're
you've got
right.
any other gems, bring them out for me.
Yes,
okay?
yes, got you,
Because you left them
brother.
out of the family team. But let's go ahead.
But the thing is, being pro-black is like we grew up. So I was very aware of like the pitfalls, I would say, or like the enemies that we possess, like people who don't want to see people
succeed.
that look us succeed, or that they've been taught wrongly
ignorance
to
and
not not allow us to exceed or be in their spaces. So I'm very well aware. So I was not when I would see the George Floyd or Breonna Taylor situations. I was not like, I was always aware of that type of thing. So when people would be like, oh my God, like I can't believe this happened. I'm like, man, the last lynching that ever happened in America was in 1999. That's not a long time ago. That's within everybody's lifetime that's in this room. That's 1999 in Texas. That's the last on record lynching, because there's been others since then. But like that's the last on record lynching, and they drugged that dude through a parking lot, hung him. And and then right after that, we all had a party in the year 2000. We was happy to go into the new year, but we didn't all know that, So that's like when people don't really.
That was
that's not a well known.
Race-related.
Yeah, that's a race related. It was a race related situation. You can look it up online. Y'all look up Texas 1990 black man lynching. You can look it up on Google. It'll pop up. So the thing I would say more than anything that kind of eye-opened me was after Trayvon Martin had died, the response we had as a collective, it was the biggest eye-opening. Because my whole life, my dad and all of them had been talking about like unity and stuff like that. And when you try to unite with people, like when you, let's say like you want to go support a black-owned bank, when you try to get 10 people to be like, yo, man, take the money out of your bank and then or even take a little bit of it. Like, yo, take $20 and put it into a bank that's for people like us. People look at you be like, man, you on that? Like, you wildin'. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they try to write you off as crazy or something. So, like, when I would, like, right after that, I was like, you know what? I went to go sign up for a black-owned bank. It's called Industrial Bank in Washington, D.C. It's one of the only, it's like one of like 20 black-owned banks in the world at the time. There's more now, but there was only like 20 of them. It's
called Industrial Bank.
It's called Industrial Bank. Yeah, it's called Industrial Bank. They cool. I like their. They mostly do online because I'm in New York and they only really in DC. But I went, opened up a bank account with them, and it was like the day I went to open up with them, it was like it had to be about 200 or 300 people that was in line with us to open up a bank account just like I was. And I was like, bro, like, I thought that was the way that we needed to respond when things like that was happening. You know, like, instead of us being like, oh, man, like, they hate us, it's like, nah, man, we need to, in times of crisis, instead of us being like, man, they hate us, it's like, nah, man, like, let me come together. Like, how can I support your business? How can I support your stuff? We need to come more and be like, how can we keep this money in our community more, you know, and how can we be able to, all right, so how can we take this, if our community's bad, let's how can we do ways ourselves to be able to make this happening? Oh, our brother just came home from jail, how can we make sure this don't come back? You know what I'm saying? And so it's stuff like that. I was so happy and I got emotional that day because I was like, bro, like it was like a long line. I'm saying 200 just to be nice. It was probably a good a few thousand people, but that one that's over in Rhode Island Avenue, that everybody knows, that's like a really big one. Yeah, it's a really big one. It was I think it's Rhode Island. It might be Georgia Avenue. If somebody in DC would be like, that was definitely Georgia. It's whatever. It's on a major street, and it was a bunch of us to open up a bank, and then in New York, after like stuff like that kept happening, and then when George Floyd died, the response. More people were trying to like. I'm a pro-black person, but I didn't know a black organization to even give money to. So like, you know, like how charities and stuff. Yeah. So I didn't really know what organization to give money over to. So when it was time to do that, I mean, when people were asking me like, well, who do I support in this movement? And, you know, a lot of people gave money to Black Lives Matter, which is a good movement, and that's great.
I'm going to give you my bank details before you go, okay?
Huh?
I'm going to give you my bank details before you go, okay?
Okay, cool, brother. But there was a bunch of organizations I found, like, locally in my area, and I started just, like, directing people to, like, HBCUs, which is historical black colleges and universities. Like, yo, you could give you, like, that money, every dollar that you give to somebody, that's another black child that can be able to go to school, and they can help their facilities, and that's stuff that we really should be putting our money to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I don't think they have that in London, like just historical really. Black colleges, universities, but like they got a lot of them in America, like Clark Atlanta, Howard University. There's like a lot of very prominent black people went to Howard.
We've been here, we ain't been here that long.
Yeah.
I know it might sound silly, but like. We're like 60 years deep in this country.
Okay, cool.
Do you know what I mean? Where in America,
yeah, we've been there since the beginning.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
1555.
Yeah.
That's when we got there. So yeah,
sad and profound.
Yeah, but it's a little. That's how I believe that was the thing that eye opened me the most. It's just like, man, I couldn't believe we was able to like. Just even them small steps, I think is great, you know. And then now there's more, like, you know, some rapper named Killer Mike in Atlanta. Yeah, no Killer. He started the Greenwood Bank, which used to be, you probably heard of the other term is called Black Wall Street, but Greenwood was in like a sub-city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that was like a black town that was the most prominent black town in the world, and then they dropped bombs on us in like 1933 or something like that. And like it was a crazy situation because they did rebuild Greenwood, Oklahoma, but it's not the same as it was prior to them doing that. And so he opened up a bank called Greenwood, like in the honor of their names. And so like we have more stuff like that. And I think that's the way whenever we like that. I think that's the way whenever any type of crisis happens, instead of you just being mad and like doing some other stuff, you're just like, all right, man, let me invest into this. Let me invest into like my community. Like, you know, you see a building up there gathering people up to be like, man, let's turn this into like an art center. People who are artists can come and we cultivate, because we got enough to be able to do if people feel like you have a little, with the little we do got, we have enough to be able to like to feed, eat, like and vibe. Because people, you know, like you were saying earlier, I'm not broke, and I was like, you're right. I was like, had to think to myself, you're right. I'm not broke, but you know, like rethinking it, like the little we do have, we have enough to be able to feed and eat and survive together, you know. So that's always
what people want money for. To me, everyone wants to be rich to be lazy.
Yeah,
it's not even like they're half of their wanting to be rich is not to put it into this or put it into that or put it into this. A lot of people want to be rich so they can just do.
I just heard what you said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm listening, man.
Yeah.
So I can just.
You want to be rich to be lazy.
Yeah.
They
don't want to be rich so they can actually do, and they won't get up in the. No, I'm not saying they won't get up in the morning, but it will. The reason everyone wants the money more time is just so they can sit back, go on holiday when they want, just shit on people they don't like.
I don't want to shit on no one.
No,
if you see a real rich person, I mean, like, and
or someone that's used to wealth,
we can even say a financial, like a financially free person. Yeah, like they work. I mean, like even like they don't work in the physical labor sense, like. You know, like how, you know, you would see somebody get up, go 9 to 5 and all that stuff.
But it's still mentally labor.
But man, I've seen some people like, you know, on the artist side, I've seen people who they work. You be like, bro, like I can't. Like I one time just hung out with a comic. He's not even famous. It's a comic named Jared Waters. Not a famous comedian at all. It's just a friend of mine. And we always navigate throughout New York together. We almost every night we end up somewhere in the same comedy club. But that dude is a teacher during the day, right? So he teaches during the day, and then just stand up basically all night, basically till like 2 a.m. Get up at 6. He get up at 5 to get to work at 6 to teach kids. And he does that basically every Monday through Friday. Then on the weekends, he's doing stand up to like about midnight to 2 a.m. again. And then he'll rest, like, you know, occasionally, like on a Sunday, occasionally in the morning, he won't do nothing. He'll probably like around 7 o'clock, he'll get back out, grinding again. And he's like, you know, but he don't do comedy for the financial gains of it. He do comedy because that's his calling and stuff. So when like I see somebody like that all the time, I always think like that dude will eventually be rich. Like he might not be monetary wise rich right now, but that dude definitely will be rich. Yeah, because he's in his bag and he's in his calling. Yeah, and that's like the great thing. That's when like when I do stand up,
perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
success isn't one thing.
Yeah,
Billy is full.
Yeah, yo, you see that dude. Every time you see that dude is smiling, like big smile. He just like, bro, I can't like you know, like, and he always just be like everybody call him Turbo. He be like, Turbo, run it up. Like Turbo run it up, man. That dude always working, and I always think about that when I see people like that, like, you know, that he's like, I got one mode, just going as far as I can, you know. So it's fire. Yeah.
So we're gonna go live. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay, cool.
Oh man. Yeah, so it's gonna be shit.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, no, we're gonna cover some more. I've got more questions for you, but there's questions for the live. We're gonna go out there. What are you on? Let me know when you're on, yeah? You're on, yeah? Yep. What advice have you got for anyone out there that is going for the bag? Like, it means going for the cash, the money, and thinking that is the only thing that is there for them, like, but they've got talent. Have you got any advice for anybody out there? What advice you got for anybody out there?
I would say whatever, no matter what aspect of whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter what it is. I would say the bag. I know that like that's gonna sound bad, but the bag is like the last thing you should think of. The bag is the last thing you want. The bag is the last thing. Like, I say, find whatever you love if you love it, if you can go a week without doing it, you don't really love it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've since I've started comedy outside of the pandemic, and even during then I didn't go a whole week. I did comedy on Zoom. I did comedy in the park. I did comedy in the street. I did comedy on the train. Yeah. I was like just actively like, bruh, I don't care what anybody say. If they didn't think I was funny or anything like that, it didn't matter to them. It just mattered how I feel when I'm doing what I'm doing. So like, and then I found ways to be able to make myself like money doing what I do. But I feel like the bag is like the last. You do need to know how to make the bag. 100%. Without a doubt. Let me not make nobody. You need to know how to make the bag, but you want to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And as long as you are happy doing what you're doing, if taking the garbage, if you're a garbage man and that's what you wanted to do with your life, like don't let nobody shame you for taking up garbage. That's a fucking valuable job. Without you, bro, our streets would be destroyed with trash and all type of, and like, so like not letting nobody belittle what you do as well. Like, so when I do comedy, like sometimes people will be like, man, your little comedy show. It's like, my little comedy show will pay my rent though. And it also gives, feeds my family and stuff. Yeah. So I was like, my little comedy show is bigger than what you think it is. Yeah, it's like, and it's a place where I'm able to like sharpen my art. And get to a place where I'm able to like, travel the world and do stuff like that. Yeah. It paid for this very nice trip to London. So I'm cool with that. But like, I really feel like when you're doing what you're doing, like just make sure you love it. If you love it and you can't sleep, you can't eat without it, I've gone several days. Like, I don't care what it is. I don't even need to eat. I gotta go do stand up. Like, I've got to go do stand up. I'm here. I'm just going to the comedy club. I'll just sit in the comedy club, even if I'm not actually doing stand up, just because I need to be around that environment, Definitely. And so like that's the most important thing. Like it's like you were saying, like you love to talk. It's like sometimes you don't even got to be the person talking. Sometimes you just like, all right, man, let me just listen to this conversation. Like sometimes it just make you feel good. And so it's like, that's that. Yeah. So when I do stand up, I'm like, man, let me go here and let me express my art. Let me express my way. And then that's that. But yeah, so just don't chase the bag.
Don't chase the bag. Give me some. Give me some. Give me free run. Don't chase the bag. That's what's up.
Don't chase the bag.
I will get the salute in the end there.
I was just telling him that before you came in.
Yeah.
What's that? He was telling me that before. Yes, yeah. He was telling me that before you came in.
Yeah,
He's right.
You chase the feeling of what you want. Like that, you chase. Not me say the feeling, but you stay in the what you want to do. You stay in that like.
Your focus is so important. That's what I believe.
I have a podcast in America. It's not this type of setup or nothing. It's very low stakes setup. But
thank you very much for coming.
No. I love y'all. I love y'all setup. I love it because this is. But like, the reason why I was gonna say that is because like I was doing the podcast in the beginning. I was doing the podcast to help further the comedy. Yeah. So, but it wasn't something I was like looking forward to do. Yeah. So like when I would do it, I would be like I haven't recorded an episode in like a year. Wow. Like my own podcast. I do have a podcast with my friend Dory.
Okay. What's up, Dory?
Dory, yes. Dory's amazing. But I haven't recorded an episode in a year. And I was thinking like, I remember when I do come back, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do that? But then it's like, I also don't want to take spaces away from somebody who, do you know what I'm saying? Like I found ways now to be able to do it now where that it reaches to my message that I want and that I want to be able to bring people on that like are, that probably don't really get spoken to, like people who are in like when normally you see a podcast, whatever field the person's in, they bring that person in. Like you bring somebody else in. So like to kind of like either use the network or whatever. I always was like a person of the people. I wanted to bring like dope people. Just kind of how you were saying.
Like yourself, that's what you're doing here, Yeah. I don't know nothing about your fucking comedy career. I don't know. I ain't seen you before. Yeah. But I met you. Yeah. And you're a dope person. And the thing is, brother. You come from New York. That's what got it for me. You're an American. Do you understand? Yeah. And your energy was right. So now your story, you give me your story about your mom whooping ass. And stories that you can tell. And to me.
But even what he just explained is what your podcast is like.
Yeah, it's ours.
Just dope people.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like,
but yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
it is people that are artists or comedians and things like that. But
Yeah.
sometimes just, you know, like
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
good people.
I just think like the biggest superstar, like I said, my sister is the funniest person in my family, but nobody would ever know that my sister was the funniest person in my family if I didn't tell y'all. So y'all would all
Get
be
her on
like,
the podcast.
yeah, I'm gonna get her. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get her. She actually was on a few episodes of my podcast, and it's funny because Comics was like, "Man, your sister's funny, bro," and I was like, "I know." I was like, "I've been trying to get her to do stand up, but she don't want to do it." But anyway, like I wanted to. There's so many dope people that walk the planet, and we don't never know anything about them. Like there was a young black man I had met, and he was in the government. But he was like a mayor or something, like a third ward something, and I was like, I wanted to interview him, like, bro, why would you choose that? Like, you could do anything. He was like 21 or 22. I was like, you could do anything with your life. What made you say like, yo, I want to run? And you did a campaign, you raised money, you did this, and then to actually follow through. And that was my whole thought process. It was like I wanted to interview people like that. Like those people, the people I want to see and talk to and understand, and like maybe that influences somebody else that's dope, you know? So like it kind of was like that. But podcasting wasn't my thing though. That was it wasn't my thing at the time. But I like
what
it.
saved you? Because you've been in jail.
No, never been to jail.
So I have to ask you, what saved you? Because I know you even mentioned how dangerous Yonkers can be, and how we know how dangerous America can be. We know how dangerous the world can be. Do you understand? Especially for everyone, especially for a young black man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's so many different spectrums.
I mean, my parents and my siblings kind of like always kept me out of trouble. So like I was a kid who would get in trouble a lot, but I got into a few run-in with the laws, nothing major, but like enough to where like the smallest thing as a young black kid can get you put in prison. Like you could just fight somebody in a school and you punch him in the face and you break his jaw, and that like you literally can go to prison over that. Whoa. And in America it's crazy. You be a 16-year-old fighting another 16-year-old, you break his jaw in a fight, and they'd be like, all right, now we're gonna slap you with like we put you in juvenile prison, which is kid jail.
What is it called? Because they probably call that GBH over here, which is called grievous bodily harm.
Yeah,
and there's ABH. So there's if you slap someone, that's actual bodily harm.
Ooh.
So there's a difference.
I don't know the actual charges anymore. But like I know, like I guess you would call it assault and battery is like what they would. That's what they would call it. Yeah.
Wow.
And like if you break something, I think it's a different charge, a completely different grade of a charge.
Yeah.
But like typically how they throw it out when you're not black, or you're like, you know, you're a young white man. Yeah. They'll be like, oh man, he's a young kid. You know what I'm saying? They got into a fight. That's it is what it is.
Testosterone.
Your parents got to pay a fine. That's it. You probably got to do some community service. That's it. Yeah. But when you black, they be like, oh man, he did this. He's a menace to society. Then they throw you in prison. It's all it is. Like, it's wild. You 16. And they don't look at it like he's just a 16-year-old who's just fighting another 16-year-old, or like that he might have, you know, had divorced parents or something, like something crazy like that. But for me, I would say my mom. Oh, my fault, brother.
Sorry, no, I was saying the fact that they got so much fights, like world star and all that. Yeah. No, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually they can actually be put in jail just for the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
they be in jail for shit over there, but anything over there, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can get locked up for jaywalking, for crossing the street and not a crosswalk. In Los Angeles, they do give you fines and stuff for doing that, but you can go to jail like for that. If
they want to be assholes,
you can go to jail. Yes, not to prison, but you could go to some county jail and sit in for a whole weekend because you decided to cross the street because you was trying to catch a bus quickly, you know. And you get a little crazy. Yeah,
you have to pay bail to get out.
Well, when you're going in like small charges like that and stuff, you don't have to pay bail. Like usually you see a judge. The judge gives you like not really a sentence, but they usually tell you like you got to come to court, you got to pay a fine, or you got to do whatever. And then that's that.
Usually, so when they have a fight, it's more just a fine situation.
Most of the time it is. Most of the time it's like. Most of the time it never gets to like so like 90% of the time it never gets to like court. But if I press charges on you, right? Yeah. So like you come and you slap me. Yeah. If I don't, like that's okay. We go to the similar situation. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in the Oscars, right? Will Smith slammed him.
Shit out of him.
Yeah. Chris Rock didn't press charges, so Will Smith didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
If Chris Rock would have pressed charges, they would have arrested Will Smith, And then any other charges that would have came from him being there, he would have had to either pay a fine. He's gonna get sued by Chris Rock. So like, just don't. If anybody's who don't know, he's gonna get sued. He's gonna probably get sued for like $200 million. Something crazy. He's gonna get sued for a lot. But like that. But you're gonna pay a fine or something like that. But what happens is that you get into those are high profile cases. Sometimes it's like lower level kid cases. You'll be like a child and you only got like a mom and she works 3 jobs or something like that, and maybe you've been sent to detention like 4 or 5 times, which everybody, a lot of people's been sent to detention before.
Yeah.
They'll use that against you for you to be able to go to prison. for that kid to go to a juvenile detention center.
So he's been delinquent. He's delinquent because he gets in trouble at school. So
Then they use that like, oh, this is a track record that this kid is not just a normal kid. So then that kid now goes to a juvenile detention center. Now you in that center, you start to learn jail culture. Then you come back out, you got a PO, you only 16, you got a probation officer, so now you got to check in with them when you come home at night, and you be slapped with those charges for 15 years. You got a probation officer for 15 years for
bullshit,
something
man.
you did at 16.
But so have you?
And it's like that. But my parents and my parents and my siblings kind of always kept me on the right track. My dad always made me aware of what can go wrong in your life and what will go wrong. Always trying to just do the right thing. I always stay in that mindset. Like, I'm trying to do what's right by people. Always.
Was any of your older brothers in trouble?
So my older brother is in prison right now.
Yeah,
now. Yeah, oldest brother.
The older ones they have to take it for the younger ones in a way.
For long?
Well, this is his second time going to prison. The first time he went to prison, I was 16. He went to prison. He went to jail for. He got sentenced to 15 years, but he did 9, and then he came home for 2 years, and then he went back to prison. I'm gonna say about 2 years ago.
Yeah. What's the next sentence?
I don't even know what his charge is. I think he's just finished.
It's not a charge.
He was a attempted murder. But
the second sentence. The second sentence or the first one?
No, the second sentence. He's I think he had like a gun in his house. When you go to prison, you can't own a firearm in America
at all.
Yeah. So they found a gun in his house, and when they found a gun in his house, they sent him. He has to do the rest of the time that he had got let out from before.
Oh, okay, they do that over here, but then so that means he's never went to jail for having a gun, but he broke like bail conditions or something like that. Yeah,
something like
that.
Bail
conditions. He had to go back and finish the sentence.
Yeah,
that's not like a repeat offender though, really.
Yeah, not really, but it's
some bullshit though.
Yeah,
that's some bullshit.
Yeah, but he was when he had went to prison the first time, he got into a fight in a mall. A dude tried to attempt to stab him. He grabbed the knife from the dude, and then he stabbed the dude. He stabbed the dude in the chest, and the dude didn't die. And the dude, they slapped him with the charges. He was also in a gang though too as well. So like
he was in a gang, yeah.
He was in a gang, yeah. So he was in a gang, and so they slapped him. They was like he was a leader of a gang. So they made sure he was gonna go to jail. They was making sure he had to go to jail, and it was like he had to do 15 years, and it was like. It's like one day he was just sitting there, we was all chilling, playing games, and the next day he was in prison. It was just like, wow. And I seen him a few times in prison. It's hard to see a family member in prison, because especially my older brother, because he's a real good dude. Real he will stab you though. I'm not that I ain't gonna lie. He will fight you, he will stab you. But he's a good dude.
He's a good dude that will fuck you up.
Yeah.
No, but I saw I don't know if I sent it to you today. I saw on the net today. Like the best person is the person that can kill you, but doesn't actually kill you, that has control over the temper.
Yeah.
The person who hasn't got that within them isn't the best person. It's the best person. I can't remember the real connotation, but the best person is that person who has the capacity to chew your head off like a lion.
Yeah.
But doesn't hold it down and reserve it. Doesn't need to do that to you. So
it's a time and a place for all of that. I mean, it ain't a time to kill somebody, but it's like but it's a time and a place to like to bring that beast out.
Sorry, I said what I said. The most peaceful person.
Yeah.
Because he knows what he could do. The most peaceful person is that person. Other people are there. They don't really know, but they know.
Yeah. But he got sent to prison, and so it's wild because it's a big adjustment for like our family, because our family, we all a year apart, so it's like it's weird. We've lived like a whole life while he's been in prison. So it's kind of like awkward to a degree. So when he came home, we were all trying to adjust and try to help as much as we could, you know, to make sure he was going to be good. And you know, sometimes when you get in that system, it's hard. You learn that system. You don't learn how the regular world works. You learn, and also when you go to prison, like, I don't know for sure. This is my hypothesis once again. Is that when I don't know for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I think when you come out, whatever age you was when you went in, you kind of that for the rest of your life. So if you go in like. You go into prison and you like 30, you know what I'm saying? You go in like as a 30-year-old and you come out, you be 65, but you still thinking like, man, where the bitches? Where this? Let me go do this.
You said that before, innit? It's like time freezes for you.
Yeah, man.
And you don't progress. That's
but also
exactly
you know, he had to do some crazy stuff in there to survive. And when you come out, it's kind of like you gotta unlearn all of that. And sometimes a lot of people don't. And it's like, you know, unfortunate. I'm making sure this time, like, I'm in a better position to be able to, like, you know, support him as much as I can. Also to, like, you know, let him grow as much as he can, but to let him understand, like, you know, that he is needed, he's welcomed here, like, that he don't need to go and whatever the vices and the stuff that made him go down that route.
Even
to be
making
like,
people understand PTSD and understand what it is can really help people. I've like just making them research things that gonna help them because a lot of people, they want to help, but they're just not pointed in the right directions. You know what I mean?
And when you have the unlimited like resources too as well, it's like, bro, I can just be, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have, like you were saying, like if you have all the resources, you kind of like, now you're like, all right, man, now I can really get the help. Yeah. But sometimes you just need a plan. Like, and some people don't even do that. Like people come home, they be like, man, now you home, and then like like a little bit earlier we were talking about. So now they're like, you know, he had children when he went home, when he went to prison. Yeah. So like when he came home, it's like, you know, all of the problems that he had before, that shit didn't go away. Yeah. Now it's like 15 years of, 9 years of all of this. It's just like now on his feet. And so now he not only going from fighting and surviving every day, now he got to come out here, work a job, do this, deal with them. That'll easily make you snap as a regular man. Just forget about it being a man who's still a 21-year-old in his mind. That's when he went to prison.
And then still having to deal with the fact he's got parole, and other stuff that goes with it, not being able to get jobs based on the. That's a lot, bro.
It's a lot. Like, but people when you come out of prison, people just. We don't really think like that. We don't think like that man, that dude might need help, or like we need to be able to have systems to help them or to get them help, or make a plan with people to get them help. Like I feel like that's something that they definitely need to start to do. Like, but I feel like as me and my family, we like as a member of my family, I always try to like when my brother we talk, anytime we talk on the phone, I don't want to hear about anything from jail, anything like man, when you come out, man, this is how we going how we going to live, definitely. This is how we going to eat, you know, like, you know, we going to make sure, you know, you get back together. Yeah. And I feel like that's how, you know, he's in his blessing, he got a family full of a lot of men is in his family. So like when he come home, it's a lot of men in his family. Men like, and my dad, and this is not to sound misogynistic or nothing, but like men always we establish order as well. Like we don't necessarily maintain order, but we establish order. Like in when you need a parent, like my mom is a nurturer, but you can over nurture and you can under nurture, you can all of that. My dad maintains, like if he come home and whatever he said was not done, it's like, bro, it's a problem of grown man. And my mother told me, I'm calling your father. Like I'm in front of y'all, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be a little nervous, my guy. I'm being a little nervous, my guy. I'm 31. I'm like, bro, all right, dad, you right. But
that's good. That's
the respect. Right? That's good. That's the type of thing you need. You need. And even my brother, like he'll talk crazy and reckless with other people, but when he talked to me, my older brother, my younger brother, my dad, he be like, it's like, you right. You know, like we able to get him on that track. So it's like more of like get him back into that system when he come out. Like, bro, you good, and to move forward. But to save what you were saying in the beginning, to save my life, comedy. I mean, that kept me off the streets. Yeah, man, it's my mother and father. I would say like they gave me the system, the tools to be able to adapt in the world, and it's a lot of like it's tough, but like. They gave me everything I needed when I was young to be mentally prepared to deal with what I was gonna have to deal with. And then as I got older, having older brothers that already, like my older brother early, he already had been in the world and done stuff in the life and stuff. And so having those people to be able to bounce ideas off of and stuff. Yeah. And then I always try to surround myself with good people. I just, the number one thing is like, if you a bad person, I'd be like comedy, you got to deal with people. You got to deal with people in general. You're going to run across a bad person here and there. But like I try to, in my circle, always keep people who are like positive. Yeah. Like nothing is out of bounds. Nothing is out of our reach. Nothing is out of our touch. We try to always keep a positive environment, uplifting each other as much as we can. You'll kill an idea before it even start, just like by being just trying to, you think you was funny. And like so like when we talking ideas, I try to like have no negative conversations when we're talking ideas or we're talking about building. Nothing is negative. Nothing is stupid in that mode. It's like all building, and then we go from there. But
something. So
what
was you like academically?
Horrible. Horrible. It's probably a teacher that's watching this right now. I saw me. Her name was Miss Schneider when I was in school.
That's a classic teacher's name.
Yes, her name is now Miss Robin. She got remarried. But she'll probably be like this. Man, he was a bad student, but I was always smart. I just was not the greatest student. But like that also let me know that like I understood that the way they teach in school is for the majority. It's not for the individual. Definitely. So like I was
same school as you. That's how you think. That's his ethos. Definitely.
But it's. I mean, like that's why like when I used to come home, I had an uncle. His name is Marcus. He ended up passing away, but he
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he was a really adamant on like on understanding how you learn. Yes. And he was very open when I would be like, I don't understand this, and he'd be like, why don't you understand? Like, what would be a better way of explaining this to you? Like, do we physically have to do something? Do we have to do? And then I started to learn. Like, I learned to read, not in school. I learned to read with him. Like, he was in college because he's my father's younger brother, and so he was in college at the time. So he would, while he was reading books, he would just give me the books, and I would learn to read, and then I would sound out words and American words. And it's weird because I have a nephew now. My brother Early has a child. His name is Savion. And when I teach him to read, write, and do math, I'd be like, bro, I like my uncle all over again. It's like all over again.
What's up, Savion?
Yeah.
Bro, you gonna see this?
Yeah, man. It's so weird because I'll be like sitting there telling him, and I'll be like, bro, I remember like my uncle was cursing me out because I couldn't read. But he understood. Like he understood. Like, all right, your mind works different. So now we gotta adapt and change and stuff like that. So I wasn't a good student in that regard, but I became really good like later on. I would say like when I got older, I still always like read avidly, like every day at least. I try to read like 2 hours a day.
Okay, that's good, man.
Yeah. Something. Like
how hard is it to be different in where because I know a lot of glorification of gangster life. It happens in our community. Yeah, quite a lot. So when you're doing something positive or you're doing something that doesn't get as much glorification as people doing the bad stuff, I think that's also why people that do get incarcerated find it hard to rehabilitate when they come home. Yeah, because they get given certain flowers and glorifications for even going to jail at times as well, and even just living in that lifestyle. So what do you think can be that has changed, and what could be changed within our community that can change the glorification on people doing destructive things and start to put the light on people doing productive and constructive things?
Well, I think our era of our now generation that's coming to the forefront, being like the men and women that's working and doing stuff, I think our generation has stopped the gangster thing. That thing, I think, is when I was a teenager, that was like, if you was a gangster, it was like, bro, you was the dude. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I listened to 50 Cent in the Game and all of them dudes, and them dudes were like, they like literally, I was in 8th grade when the Game's album, I don't know, when not his first album. I was maybe, just the documentary part 1. When I remember when his mixtapes was coming out, and like, I was like a fan on that level. Like, I was a fan of 50 Cent in like elementary school, middle school type of time. So I grew up listening to him and Nas and different type of people, but like I remember that was like in my mind, I was like, I always wanted to be tough or tough. And then when I got older, my father is not a tough guy in that regard. But my view of toughness came different because I had a dad. My dad is not a gangster in the term of like he will rob you. But if you come into his house and try to fuck his shit up, that's the most gangster thing. Like him defending his family is like the most gangster shit ever.
That's the realest thing.
Yeah,
real,
it's like, bro, like, and so when people would say like, like I'm a gangster, like nothing is gangster robbing like a lady or slapping a girl or doing something like that's not gangster because there's no challenge in that. But like the challenge, I mean the now we are more moving towards like, man, intelligence is what's up.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like
it's
you
cool
said,
being
it's what's
in that,
up.
Yeah.
But you know, like even us really like treasuring that word gangster.
Yeah.
To say this is gangster,
Yeah.
that's gangster.
Yeah.
And that, you know what I'm saying? We even gave the word a certain level of value.
Yeah.
That we put good things next to it. When the word is just someone like a wankster or gangster, like it just someone else named us that, or someone else gave that connotation.
Yeah.
For someone that's part of a gang, or someone that's if you're a prankster, you're someone that just does pranks.
Well, that's like movies. I think are a big thing for gangster as well. Like outside of just like the influence of 50 Cent and those dudes, like
music and
the
stuff.
Mafia people and stuff like that. That's big in American culture in general. Like the Godfather Part 1 and 2 is in the American Registry of Films.
Yes.
So it lets you know what type of like if you don't know.
What does that mean?
That means this like America identifies that as art, as that this is one of the best films ever.
Yeah.
And the government identified that
registry,
as art. So when that's in the...
They didn't do number 3 though.
Huh?
They didn't do number 3 though.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that. They didn't do that for the... Yeah, they did not 3. They was like 3. They was like, nah, 3. They was like 3, 3 y'all could keep. 3 y'all can keep. But 1 and 2. 2 is like... And honestly, I've watched the film. But honestly, this is another thing about... like a weird thing I have in my dad. My dad... I love films. Films is like one of my things. But that was another way he used to teach me. When we would watch films... like The Godfather is a great example. They have 5 sons. I mean, they have 4 or 5 sons. I think it is 5 sons, maybe 4 of them. They have 4 sons, and there's a son who dies because he's a hothead. Sonny dies.
Yeah, Sonny died.
But the reason why my dad explained why he died is because when you're a man, you can't just do things in the heat of the moment. Because if I do the wrong thing, and like even in this moment, I'm the coolest dude in the world. But if I get mad and me and you start fighting, forever, bro, my image is shattered. Of your image of me is shattered forever. You'll be like, bro, like I thought Ishmael was cool. This dude just came up and started slapping everybody.
Yeah, but they'll be like, what happened to that New York guy? He ended up in the can. We put him in the can.
We had to put him in the can. I love it. Had to put him in the can. Had to cremate that dude, bro. But it's like even in that moment, he didn't understand that they was going to war, and that at wartime they will
bait you.
Yeah, they will bait you in any type of way. And they got to his sister's boyfriend, and when they got to his sister's boyfriend, they paid him all of this money to beat up his sister. So in his mind, he's like he's going to defend his family, which is righteous, but he was not righteous in the regard that they in wartime. You don't leave your peoples to go ride across town, and they caught him in a situation, and it was like that he ended up getting shot up. If you ever see the movie, right before he leaves, he doesn't tell anybody where he's going. He doesn't communicate to nobody else that his brother. This is the Godfather. Is this? They don't communicate to any. This is part one.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
He doesn't communicate to anybody else that dude slapped his sister. So he's going over there to deal with him. So he runs over there and he does it. Everybody's like, man, what you doing? Where you going? The bodyguards get left. By the time he's shot up and they find him, he's dead. He's dead, and that's all because he never really. He didn't take a second to just calm down and think. Like his brother Michael was always a thinker. Yeah. He never, like when they all was all like dad got shot and all of this, everybody started to do whatever. He stepped up and was like, hey man, I got the probably ain't the right thing, but this is the right move to make right now. And in that moment when they started to think, like after that, everybody looked at him different. They was all like, before he was a kid, they was all like, if you watch the beginning of the movie, he's a child. They're like, oh, college boy. They all talking and teasing him. But that moment when he stepped up and he was like, bruh, you put me in that position, I'm gonna kill him. You put the gun in the right place, I'm gonna kill him, and I'm gone. And then he went over to Italy and he had to face his own battles in Italy and stuff. But yeah, it's a dichotomy of just how you can be just the wrong dude at the wrong time, or you're not thinking the right way. And when I watch, he used to always go off about that movie, like be more like Michael in one regard, you know. And then in the part 2, Michael had too much pressure on him too soon, and he didn't trust nobody because of the stuff from part 1. He was not seasoned to be that dude. So instead of him like listening to his gut and stepping away from the action and just saying like, F this, man, y'all can take this empire, I don't care, like I'll shoot films, because that's what he wanted to do in the movie. He wanted to like shoot film. He wanted to be legit. He wanted to have his family's name legit. But every time that he kept having to be wanting to do it, he just didn't know how to turn away from it. He just felt the pressure, and then he started wilding on his wife, and then because he was wilding on his wife had a miscarriage, and then they shoot up his room, and all of that was like an existential of how you create your environment. That second movie is like deep on so many levels. It's like you create your environment, and because he was at odds with his family, even when he killed his brother and all of those in the end of the movie, he kills his brother and all of them at the end of the movie. In the third movie, he couldn't rest. He died a lonely man. When his father died, he died with nothing but kids around him, because everything he did was about his family and about building and stuff like that.
With his nephew.
And Michael's whole entire career was about keeping people away, keeping people whatever, and he never became that dude. So he died a lonely man. It's a sad story in the end, honestly. Like, everybody glorifies all the gangster shit, but in the end, this nigga died an old man sitting in Italy. He falls over in a chair. Don't nobody come to get him.
Serious, I didn't remember that. I remember 1 and 2 really.
Yeah, part three is on the low, extremely deep, because demons never go away. Demons never go away. They change form, they go different routes, but they never go away.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. The demons came back in a different form. He wanted to go and be part of the church. And he was trying to give his life over to God. You know, he had to confess that he killed his brother. And everybody was like, "Who, this motherfucker's crazy? Who kills their brother? Who kill your brother?" And they was looking at him like, "You wild." And then they ended up killing his daughter.
What?
And his son left him, and his wife left him, and then he was just alone. And it was just wild. Like, you would just think like that your demons just never, and all of the stuff that he never faced ended up coming back time and time again, and he just never knew how to deal with it. And that's like when you were saying in a regard of like earlier, when like you are like when you got to learn how to be able to deal with that. When people tell me I'm not tough or I'm not a gangster, you're right, I'm not a gangster, and I'm not tough, and I don't want to be a gangster or tough. I know how those roads end.
But the fact that
I'm cool to be validated. I'm cool to be validated being just a smart, funny. If they calling me a nerd, I'm cool with that, bro. Being a nerd is cool with me.
That's my whole point. It's like the fact that even when people tell you, some people will even say it like, you ain't a gangster, or you're not a thug, or you're not. They're saying it to you like it's something that you should be.
Yeah,
like it's something that's gonna take you somewhere.
Yeah.
But even if someone kills someone, people always say, "Why did he do that? That was stupid."
Yeah.
So when the people actually commit gangster stuff, they'll call them stupid. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just being behind it, just acting like you want to be this, having the persona, like heading towards destruction, is so glorified in our community sometimes that it makes it harder for the people that even when you are doing positive
it's because people
stuff,
like bad guys. People love a bad guy. That's how they look at it.
Yeah.
Bad guys back in the day were different. They had there was good
had
to them.
morals
There
too
was
as well.
morals
Yeah,
to
there's
it.
morals to it.
Like,
You're right.
You know what it
100%.
is? They don't show you what happens to the bad guys enough.
Yeah.
That's why the glorification, because all this shit is the money, the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah.
But the bad guy would tell you that back in the day. That's what I'm saying. You know that the bad guy from when that word was put together.
Yeah.
He would have told you that back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not showing you now. They're not showing you now.
No, you're not. You're just seeing man with the guns in the videos. You're seeing people with like swiping booties with cards. You know what I'm saying? So strip clubs.
I've never seen that.
It's just like it's just a music video that I've seen. But I'm just saying, like, it's that.
What, they swipe the card in someone's bum?
Yeah, like
Wow.
That's a Visa commercial, actually.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's that.
Swipe the
check out
boots.
Nelly Tipshield, the X-rated version.
Nelly Tipshield.
Well, no lie. I just was telling a girl about that video, like about how that video changed. Yeah, so it's a dark. I mean, it's not really a dark ass video. It's a decent video compared to how videos come out now.
Yeah.
But when it came out, it was so crazy. They couldn't even show it during the day. They had to show it at BT. Would only show it at BT Uncut. They created a whole channel. They created a whole thing. BT Uncut. Because you couldn't show it
For that
during the
video?
day for that video
Yeah.
because
What's it
of that
called?
video. It was called Tip Drill. Nelly Tip Drill.
Yeah.
Tip drill.
Yeah, and
I'm
he's like
waiting
swiping.
behind.
He's like swiping butts. They slapping
Yeah,
butts.
yeah.
It's so Tip Drill means you are ugly girl in the face, but you have a very
Nice
good
body.
like very nice body.
Seriously,
So-
thank you for educating me.
And he was just
Tip
like,
drill.
Yeah, tip drill. Yeah, it's like it must be her ass because it ain't her face. I need a tip drill.
Oh wow!
I feel so stupid. I feel like an old dude saying
No, I
it.
know
but-
because it's old now, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that was exactly
I'm
the
good.
vibe.
But I haven't heard it. So how old do I feel? I'm not even aware of it. I need
Yeah,
to go,
man.
I need to go
It's-
back and listen to it now.
Yeah, you'll listen to it. You'll be like,
Yeah.
man, we was on some wild stuff back then.
Yeah.
2002 was wild.
All of that lifestyle, like people, again, there was
Yeah.
back in the day, even
One, two,
One, two,
back.
Yeah,
Go, go.
cool.
even a gangster back in the day would protect someone that was doing positive because they said, "No, you're not gonna be about this.
Yeah.
We're gonna." They would actually. There's a lot of people that's famous would even testify to that. Like,
Yeah.
even yourself could testify to that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are the bad guys.
Testify then.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah,
yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
That was saying,
testify, man.
those are the
What's up,
guys,
Mr. Black
yeah.
Man? I want to hear the story. Sorry.
Nah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Like
But
they,
those were the
I
guys
mean, Ricky
that-
Ross, Freeway
you know what I'm
Ricky
saying?
Ross. He was.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as he was a drug dealer in California. He opened up mad schools.
Exactly.
He opened up a little baseball league in his
Exactly.
community and stuff.
Exactly.
So for all of the bad that everybody and they had like all like and they glorified that aspect. Like, man, yeah,
You
he
talking
was
about
such a
the real Rick Ross though?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
real one. His called named Freeway Ricky Ross.
Ricky Ross, yeah.
And that was like what Rick Ross, the rapper, took that name. He
And
actually
Freeway took his name
he
as well,
actually
innit?
like and Freeway. Two rappers, just both like, yeah, let me take this part, let me take that part. You take the other part. I got this part right
You
here.
take the head, I'll take the tail.
Yeah, you take So it was wild, but he was a really smart dude who just unfortunately the times of how that came, he sold drugs. That was like what he did. But like what he did with his money was bad. But it's also like you weigh the damages that, you know, with the positive that came out.
Definitely.
It's the damage is very definitely hurt in our community. It's still felt to this day. There's still
Yeah.
dudes walking around that's like
Zombies.
that was crack babies. Just
No,
they was
it's
born
true.
crack. It wasn't even their choice. They just
Yeah.
their mother took crack when they was a child. It's like, and we laugh at like sometimes I'm a comedian, so sometimes we'll be like, yeah, man, man, you know, you ever run into a crackhead, and we'll all do jokes like that. But like the sad part is a real dude out there that didn't even had no participation. His mother was just 16 and just was like, this the drug we was doing. And it's like, wow, there's gonna be kids that's gonna grow up on Xannies and all the drugs they do now, like they do in these popping pill culture now. So it's wild, but it's you know, I'm just hoping that we eventually I feel like our era will get to the point where it's like it's more cool to just be you know.
Do you know what
a
reason
dude
why
to
I
take
think?
care of it?
Yeah, it is now because, like I say to you, because of the internet, there's a lot more positive that you can access. You know what I mean? Like I think even back in the day, I always said when we go to people like Will Smith and things like that. You know, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, In the House, A Different World. That top reminds me of a movie. Is a Spike Lee movie or something?
Yeah. Which one you talking about?
Do the right
Oh
thing.
no! You're talking about School Days.
School Days.
Yes.
But I'm just saying we had a lot of positive content.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. You got like, a lot of us don't realize that as well. We had a lot of those household contents. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's
shows.
redistributed now. It's not the same. So like before we had like a few channels, you know, like a bunch of small channels. So it's kind of like when you wanted to watch a wholesome black show, you know, the NAACP and other places like that will boycott if your shit ain't to a level. So
Yeah.
it's like into a level that they want to be perceived to be seen.
Yeah.
You say NAACP, that's the
NAACP, that's
for
a
black
national
people, innit?
advancement. Man, that's an advancement. I know of people of color or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even remember
You
exactly
know the
how it
acronym,
is.
though.
Yes,
NAACP.
NAACP.
NAACP. Sorry,
so,
God.
I forgot exactly. I was thinking of exactly what the acronym is, but I'll get it. Later.
don't worry about
Anyway, but yeah. So like, I think before when we had like, you know, people don't look at it as a positive show, but like Martin, we had
Martin, that's what
we
I'm saying,
had
they're all
the
positive
Fresh
shows.
Prince of Bel-Air, stuff like that.
Wholesome.
Yeah, but now like you'll see like the Real Housewives and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
but
then
look at
those
Bel-Air.
shows.
Look at Bel-Air now. It's a gangster show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you understand what I'm saying, that they took the wholesome.
I haven't seen it.
It's based on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
But it's some gangster, like it's a gangster version of it.
They wanted like a darker, more dramatic version, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's good shows out there. I don't know if you've ever seen Insecure. Like you've seen Insecure before.
Good show, but again, it's
Insecure,
for
no.
Insecure. It's with
it's for age group though.
Yeah, it's for our age group.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
definitely,
saying?
without a
Insecure.
doubt. Yeah, because they be having sex on the show.
That's what I'm saying.
They be doing some wild
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
you say that, right? No, wait, sorry, thing. You say that, but the sex that the kids see now is amazing. So excuse me, it's a lot.
Yeah, no, you good.
They doing a lot of shit really young.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
say Insecure.
Yeah.
You got cartoons showing you nastiness.
But I'm just saying, like Fresh Prince, we watched when we was 12, 10.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like we grew up, we could still watch that now.
Even younger.
Even younger. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, where's those shows? Like, you know, like we don't, you know when we talk about Real McCoy and things like that over here.
Like the Cosby Show.
Yeah, even the Cosby Show and all those shows. Like we had shows that kind of just.
I'm trying to think of a show like right now. Like there's a few of them, but our shows honestly like.
Wife and Kids, Blackish.
My
I
Wife
like
and
Blackish.
Kids, that's-
Blackish,
I like Blackish.
Blackish is a good show. Yeah,
But My Wife and
it's
Kids
the
is old,
final
that-
season
that's
though.
old
It's the
school.
final
They
season.
haven't been. That's another. Well, that's from that time I'm talking about.
What was that? F.A. Black is one F.A. Black or something. Like
And
that?
Blackish deals with political issues to do with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's again, I'm not saying it's a good show, but again, all I'm saying is like, you know, one that you could just,
Yeah,
you know, like, it's nothing deep
And just
about
laugh.
it.
Yeah.
Even the deepness is put into.
but I mean, I
subtle
think
comedy.
now though the I agree with what you're saying. There's not as many wholesome content, but the viewer now wants more things of substance. Especially in our community, I feel like.
But they still have it. They still have their level of. They have that.
Oh yeah, they have their Modern Families and all of that.
and then they
other
have
stuff,
that
yeah.
content, and then they have that content.
But now it's so like shows. It's so hard now to get like black shows on TV. I'm not saying it wasn't hard before. I'm pretty sure when
we
for
don't
the
need
first.
TV.
I'm saying, but I'm on streaming. I'm saying in general, like any of the streaming services, it's like all right. How do I put it?
You know, I think it's fucking everything up.
Huh?
No, I think it's fucked everything up.
Is athletes?
Hmm?
You said athletes?
No, not athletes.
What's fucked everything up?
The reality TV side of it.
Yeah.
The reality TV side, and then the Instagram and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So when I'm watching something, it has to be before it could have been here. Now it has to be here to keep me captivated, like you said.
Yeah.
And there has to be some sort of reality in it, or if I don't believe it, if I don't buy into it, I'm like,
You know, you got
and
your
the curtain's been pulled back.
Yeah.
Sorry, the curtain's been pulled back, like the Wizard of Oz curtain's been pulled back for everyone. Now people need more to believe in. If they don't want to see shit, they know like, about Little Red Riding Hood or whatever. You know, they know most of the stories. They're like, fuck that. I want something serious.
Okay, hold up.
I don't want to see it.
I got a show
Go
for
on.
you. I got a show for you. Mike Epps has a show. It has Kim Fields. She's a well-known black actress, and Wanda Sykes.
Mike Epps.
I don't remember the name of the show, but it's on Netflix. That show is extremely funny.
Oh, I know what it is. In the
I
garage
for-
or something.
it's,
It's a garage.
I think it's something like that, man. I forgot. It's like
I saw a bit of it the other day.
It's funny. It's funny.
And
Abbott
our
Elementary
Netflix don't get the same
Abbott
things.
Abbott Elementary. I know y'all don't. Abbott Elementary. Oh
It's
yeah,
on
hold
Netflix,
on.
it's on
Let me
Netflix.
shout this one out. Yeah, Abbott Elementary is a great show.
Abbott
written-
Elementary.
Yeah, my friend, her name is Janelle James. She plays the principal on the show.
Yeah.
Janelle James. Big up Janelle James. Shout out to you.
Great comedian. Like probably one of the next best like great ones that you're gonna see. She has a bunch of Netflix specials.
What's her
She's
name
on-
again?
Janelle James.
Janelle James.
Janelle
And she's in
James. One of
Abbott-
my favorites. She's on Abbott Elementary. She
Have you
plays
done
Eva.
any movies yourself?
Nah, not yet. I'm definitely I wanted to. The thing that you're talking about is funny because I know that there's a package of people that want to be able to see the content that like I would think about to make.
Definitely.
So like because I always felt like when I was younger, I love movies and my family loves movies. I never saw movies that was even similar to how I lived.
Yeah.
Ever. Like not even that the fact that my mom and dad was divorced or any of that stuff. Like we lived in the suburbs.
Yeah.
And black people in the suburbs, there were stories like that, but we weren't like, we're pro-black, but we not angry black people. We ain't like, yo, man, the white man did us. Like, we wasn't like that. We was kind of like, our house, we just mostly played games. We was funny. We did stuff. We like, I went to parties. I went to like, I lived a regular, like, I lived closer to a regular life. Also lived in the hood too as well when I was younger. But even when we lived in the hood, we was... like we lived with like my grandmother lived down the block from like both sides of my family lived within 2 blocks from each other.
Wow.
Both
We would
sides.
be both sides. So we would be eating food together and stuff, and it was like stuff like that. But I never had seen stuff like that in a movie or anything like that. Even how I grew up as a teenager. Me and my friends I had me and my friends used to always go to parties, and we would just like, we would have a good time. We would, of course, there was always like those little small squabbles with people or something
now
like
you're
that.
bringing it out. See, I'm trying
but
to
it's like,
it's
just like, but I just felt like in that time, I never saw a movie that was like, I'm like not that I was a young black kid. I just wanted to not have my parents mad at me. I just wanted to go to, I just wanted to get a girl.
Everybody hates Chris.
Kind of sort of like that. Like his story was really good, but it was not like he was a young kid. He was like in middle school. I'm saying like the most time that I feel like a person is influential is like when you're 16 to about 25. That time frame is like critical, and the images you see about yourself is intense. I think that's why online you'll see the vast majority of people where they talk about other black people, because all the images they see is negative. If they all you think is negative, that all you think is that all dudes is gangsters and they smoke weed and they do drugs. So then you can't even, when you identify a black dude who's positive or whatever, you don't even know how to even approach him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you'll be like this, like you'll just come in and be like, nigga, what's up? And I'll be like, I ain't no nigga. Like I don't even know you. What you talking about? So it's like kind of like, it's kind of like that when you kind of in that mode. So I always felt like I watched some positive black films. It's a film called Trippin', right? It's a high school film. One of my favorite films, because they was just funny and they just went to school.
This daydreaming.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Hold on.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is that the movie, right? I think the granddad's constantly trying to get to eat some pork or something. Mm-hmm. And then he keeps asking, right? He's asking, right?
Yes.
And he keeps asking, but they say, no, you're high cholesterol. So then one day he asks, but they punk him, right? So he goes, can you pass me the bacon? When everyone's arguing.
Yeah.
He gets the bacon, starts eating it. He goes, what the fuck is this?
It's turkey bacon, Dad.
And he goes, what? Son of a bitch. Makes bacon out of turkey.
I love that movie, because that movie.
You need to watch it. He's so upset. Oh my god, that's a movie.
One of my favorite movies.
That's a movie.
One of my favorite movies.
I used to love those kind of movies. That's what I'm saying. I love comedy and I love.
Yeah.
I just like feel good. I'm not mad at the other ones.
Yeah.
Because let me watch that and then watch this to feel better before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But again, those feel better to go before you go to sleep movies.
Okay.
Just they ain't there.
They're not there
as much. They're not like, if you're someone that's seen all of them as well. I have to go back to a lot of old school movies these days.
To laugh at
just to get that feel that I
was good though, man.
But I mean,
I'm not gonna watch that.
The market in general. I mean, y'all in the thing. The market always sets itself, and I always feel like if you put it out, and there will be people to go and search for it. It's like kind of like when my era of watching films, when there were before Tyler Perry films, there was the Spike Lee type films where all of it was like sad, black shit, extremely revolutionary, but sadness. Yeah. Then Tyler Perry came out with stuff, and you can hear.
You're gone.
I'm here.
Okay, can you hear me or?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so so when Tyler Perry films came out, it changed the game. He was not only a black director, he was a new voice.
Yeah.
So when his voice came in, that's not my type of films I like to watch, but he would hit the church crowd and he would get all of their church stuff and he would bring the drama I could go on 2 hours talking about Tyler Perry films of everything I hate and love about his films. Yeah. But now we're in a new space where there's young creatives, and young creatives are trying to do like stuff that they thought was dope. So stuff that they thought was like, oh, well, I think this could be added to the conversation, and this could be added to the conversation, and all of that. And so I just want to make sure that the people who are like me and that I can influence, I want to make sure that if I can find them at 16 to 25 or to 35 or whatever it is, that like I could give them that voice that they like. Man, I was like that. I was like that as a kid. I was like, and that's kind of like what I want to do. Like, just. I grew up in a regular basic. I mean, I don't want to say basic. I grew up in a pro-black family. We didn't really talk bad about black people. We didn't really talk bad. We watched nothing but black movies. I also watched a lot of white movies too, but we watched nothing but black movies. Like you name the black actor, bro. I saw him in a film in like some undercut, some like low budget version too. Like talking like.
That's another thing about America.
Yeah.
The access to black movies and black things, like, for want of a better phrase, is so much more.
Yeah.
It's there for you to access it. Like the films, like tripping, people making the films. We're only getting the stuff over here. For me to get a copy of The Last Dragon,
Yeah.
I wanted to see that film.
Give me the thread.
Come on. But yeah.
That's my movie, Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, Bruce Lee, don't play with that. But for me to get a copy of that,
Kiss my Converse.
come on.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies.
That movie is just it's timeless as well. You see what happened now? You know, my children, I've got 2 mixed race children.
Yeah.
I played to them here. They're born in London. They got nothing to do with Motown, the whole movement. They know nothing about that stuff.
Yep.
They identified with the main character.
Yep.
And he's a black character. And they was like doing the movements.
Yeah.
I remember I used to have it in my car when you used to have DVDs in the car when I was young. I used to drive them, keep them quiet.
Yeah.
They absolutely loved that film. But to get it, I had to get it imported, and then it couldn't play on certain DVD players. It was crazy. You could probably buy it now, but to get at it, the access just wasn't there. Like, and then when I was in America,
used to be on TV all the time.
And when I was in America, because I lived there for 5 years,
Yeah.
the stuff's just there.
Yep.
Like it's just there. The old stuff, the new stuff.
They still do DVDs. Here, we write off things too quick.
Yeah, but they just recycle it. So it's all there for you to kind of watch it.
Yeah.
Things like Dolomite, the original Dolomite and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The old stuff
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
the Pam Grier stuff.
Yeah.
But then the new stuff.
The blaxploitation films love that era, man.
Come
Love
on.
that era, man.
And then the
Love
stuff
that
like,
era.
I'm going to get you sucker.
Yeah.
And there's films like,
Yeah.
what's your favorite movie?
Okay.
I know you can't be
I
specific.
can't. Yeah. I
It's a
can't.
hard
But
one,
I'll go with like. So since we have a platform and like people who probably most likely listen to this would love to hear this. I'll go with my favorite independent films. There's this people who made it themselves and put it out themselves. It's a movie called Have Plenty, right?
Have Plenty. I know about that.
Have Plenty. Yeah.
I know about that.
It came out around the same time the movie Love Jones came out.
I remember the name of it.
I've seen it.
It's a family movie. I don't remember the director. He's from New York. Yeah. He basically made the movie himself, like self-financed the movie. Got the movie out, ended up making about like $8 million. It was like a
good film.
Yeah, it was a good film. Yo, I mean, for you to shoot a film for under $100,000 and to make $8 million, you like, bro, like if you do the math on that, bro, that's you didn't found an audience, you know. So that's like great.
You done found an audience.
You done found an audience, baby. But yeah, he had a movie Have Plenty. It's a really good film. It's a comedy film as well. You know about
LL in it, no?
Yeah, huh?
Is LL in it? Who's the main character?
No. He's the main. The dude who directed the movie is the same character, but Nia Long is in the movie for like 2 seconds. She's in the movie. Yeah. It's actually none of them are well-known people. None of them. Like the one lady was.
It's a romantic comedy, though.
Yes, it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
The girl who played the younger sister, she was in the movie Hitch with Will Smith. Yeah. She played the black girl who broke his heart. That was like her first movie. The movie I'm talking about was her first movie she was ever in. Yeah, it's a really good. If you have Amazon Prime,
no, I've seen it.
Amazon Prime, you can stream it straight off Amazon Prime. It's a really good movie. Another independent film. I'm gonna go with like a blaxploitation film. Mario Van Peebles. I'm thinking this is, or I'm sorry, Melvin Van Peebles is the dad. So yeah Melvin Van Peebles' first film.
Pebbles.
Sweet Baby Back. Sweet Baby Back is like the long song. It's a long ass title. It's the first black man to ever distribute his own film by himself. He went in and the movie went crazy. He kicked off the blaxploitation films era. That movie.
You heard about him, innit?
Yeah.
You know Melvin Van Peebles, isn't it?
Yeah. Melvin Van Peebles. He was a very well known actor in general, but he was like he inspired Spike Lee to start making films and stuff like that. Like that was who Spike Lee looked up to. So like that dude was.
You kind of remind me of Spike Lee, you know.
Me?
I can't say.
We both Knicks fans, so my brother Spike. So that film was a great one. Let me think.
Was that Baby Back Rib something?
It's like something like Sweet Baby Back. It's you just type it up. It'll be the first film that he ever did by himself. That would be the first one. Spike Lee has a film called She's Gotta Have It.
Yeah, I've seen that.
One of my favorite movies. For him to have that film, it was amazing. Like, because at that time it was just groundbreaking. I'll go with one that's more current. I like watching this film. Man, no. I'll go with one that was older. Bill Cosby's film.
No, not Let's Get It. Not that night, the Saturday night one where you got
yes,
the
Uptown
boxer.
Saturday Night Live.
And he's got
Uptown Saturday Night.
what's his name? Bootney Farnsworth.
Yes.
Bootney, he goes, I'm a tiger. I'm a tiger.
Part of, I think that's the second
film,
one.
man.
I think that's the second one. But Uptown Saturday Night is the first one. It's when they go to the club, they get their stuff robbed.
Okay.
And he had a lottery ticket. Sidney Poitier had a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
In the thing. Yo, one of the funniest movies.
Yeah.
Ever.
But to get it, you know how hard it is to get it? Because I wanted to get it. I think that one's Let's Do It Again then. It's called Let's Do It Again.
Let's Do It Again is the other
That's
one.
the second one.
Yep.
That's another example of something that I tried to go to the shop and get. You just can't get it. And when you want to order it, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that is like taking away the other Bill Cosby nonsense. That's such an iconic film.
All three of them is great. All three. It's three of them. It's three versions of that movie. Yeah, it's three different ones. It's like
look at that.
All of them is great.
And the films were so funny.
The reason why that film is so dope, though, beyond just the fact that, of like, it's funny and all of that, like, Sidney Poitier is the first black man to ever win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby was a big comedian at the time.
Yeah.
Harry Belafonte was in the movie. He played the villain in the first movie. He played the villain, and then I forgot what the other dude's name. He played the other villain, but he had a very great voice. He was a great voice actor. That dude, like when he did the Shakespearean thing before he robbed him.
I need to get them. Have you seen it in films?
It's just.
You love them.
These are all.
That's how we should watch. That's how.
I've seen which one.
So not all. Oh, my fault. I think I knocked this out.
I did. I think it was
Okay,
me.
cool.
We're
Cool.
back.
So it's called blaxploitation films, but they're
there's Let's Do It Again.
Yeah.
There's something about Saturday Night.
Uptown Saturday Night.
Uptown Saturday Night.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Let's Do It Again.
That's the first one, yeah. And then it's
You must have seen the one where they hypnotize the boxer.
Hold up.
They hypnotize the boxer and they make him feel he's skinny, but they make him feel like he's a bad man. So he wins, and then the mob make them. I don't want to spoil the whole film.
No, yeah.
But it's crazy. It's just they hypnotize. It's so funny.
It's one of the best.
It's so funny.
I'm never mad when I haven't seen a film because it's just.
It's so funny.
There's something for me to watch.
Yeah.
It's
so funny.
You've watched everything, you know?
Yeah, if you watch it, it's just it's on point. It's old as well.
Well, I love If Beale Street Could Talk. That was one of my favorite films.
I don't know that film.
It's another rom-com, but it's a nice film. Yeah. Sorry to Bother You. Sorry to Bother You.
By who?
It's Bootsy Collins, I think. No, not Bootsy Collins. Something like this dude is a musician, but it's not Bootsy Collins. It's something like that. It's a dude. He makes a dark comedy film. Yeah. But it stars Lakeith Stanfield. Tessa Thompson is in the movie. Terry Crews, and it's
Terry Crews,
yeah. He's in it for like a few minutes though, but he's in the film, man. One of the funniest film. One of the funniest. It's a dark comedy, but it shows exactly how the world is right now. Yeah. Like one of my favorite films. It's like if you ever seen the meme where it's two dudes they arguing and they trying to argue but they saying all positive stuff about each other. He's like, yo man, like he said, man, you know what? Like, you smell good, my brother. He said, what you wearing? It's just Dove. It's just Dove, brother. It's like,
when they're clothes and he's got a bit of an afro.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. I want to buy you a drink. I want to drive.
That's the film,
yeah. That's the film. It's called Sorry to Bother You.
I've seen the trailer for that still.
Yeah, just a great movie. Love it.
Hey, buy you a drink. I want to buy you 2 drinks. I'll buy you 4 drinks.
We're going to buy them all. That's what we doing.
You see that, isn't it?
It's one of my favorite movies. That's one of my favorite. That was an actual movie, yeah.
I just have a pussy like that.
Yeah. It was one of those movies, man. When you watch it, you were just like, bro, these motherfuckers, wow. Serious. But it's like we need that. We need films like that so we could be like, yo, man, like I can't even believe that was there. I have a bunch of other movies. Like,
if you could work with anyone,
if I could work for a director,
yeah.
I mean, I would love to work for Spike Lee because of the historical value, he's our greatest living director. A black director, like the longevity of how many big movies he's had, even bombs and all of that. I wouldn't care. I would love to work with him. But but a dude like that's current, that's rocking. What's the kid's name? He just did a few movies recently. I can't even think of his name right now, but I'll go with the dude who directed Black Panther, Ryan Coogler, whatever. I don't even know if I'm messing up his name. That's him. I would love to work with him as well. Those two dudes.
The other day, did you guys see that?
Huh? Yeah, at the bank. Yeah, at the bank. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
he got arrested. The guy
withdrawal because he gave the woman he gave her his account number as well, but he said like do it discreetly. Put it in put it in a bag discreetly.
Yeah, but he wrote a note telling her saying like, I'm Ryan. I don't want to make anything. I'm taking out $12,000 from my bank. Here's the bank account. Gave his social security number, all of that. Slid it over there to her, and she called the police on him. But you know, it was. I mean, Atlanta wild. Atlanta is wild. Atlanta is a wild place, though. I don't know. The thing is that lady didn't do her job. Like in that moment, bro, you gotta, come on, man. Like, first off, if he's robbing the bank, and you press that buzzer and all of that other stuff, like, he gotta come with more people than just him. To rob a bank, bro.
No, but you see, I've seen them films. I've seen them films where the guy goes in. Especially, I've seen George Clooney do it. I think in Out of Sight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he goes in the back with absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
And he goes to the back to he's just got that swag, and he goes to the back to the boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I've got this, that, and he's saying like that. He's with me, but they're not with him. And he walks out with the money. So I'm just saying,
it's kind of
America's got some stupid people. I'm not just saying there's some stupid fucking people over there. Like they just believe whatever you tell them.
He's
in fact, in the world there's stupid people. Don't want to take that wrong.
Yeah. But Americans will be like, we all right with that. We cool. Yeah, there's some stupid. I ran into a stupid motherfucker at the bank 20 times. I done told him 12 times that this is my shit. I don't understand. That's how I would have felt. I'd have been in there just like, for real, bro, for real, for real. He better than me. I would have came in there not with no glasses and all of that. I'd have came in like, I'm here for $12,000. $12,000.
Because you know it's yours.
You run up on, I got that. Not playing that, but he probably didn't want to be mobbed. Like, especially if you go into a bank, you know, like, you don't want to be mobbed. You just kind of like whatever. But not me. I'd have been like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm feeding my family. Like, I'd have said all the positive stuff I could.
Ishmael, so I want to ask you now about the stuff you have running, because you got some shows running that you have shows running regularly, and you've got an outlet for your comedy and for other people. You create platforms for other people too. So tell me about some of that, man.
Okay, so I do a show every Sunday in Harlem. It's the same name of the show for almost everywhere we go. It's called Brown Sugar Comedy Show. Okay. Which is also a great movie, by the way. Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar's a really good film.
Brown Sugar,
really good film.
Yesterday, remember?
Yeah.
Sanaa Lathan.
Sanaa Lathan's in the film, and Tay Diggs. I
forget their names, you know.
Yeah, but we created a platform where we could be able to have like black people of color come together. We could have a good room where we could find the gambit of performers, you know, because sometimes you come to black rooms, depending on the room you come into, they want you to be how they want you to be, and it's like, man, we can't grow like that. Like, I want you come as you are, and we gonna accept you however you are. We all just here to have a good time. We want to be able to like vibe. Yeah. So like that's like kind of our thing. We want to be able to have black excellence when you come in. It's kind of like, and you just taking black people as they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come up here, if you you gay, you straight, you whatever, you beat your kids, you don't beat your kids, you know what I'm saying? You hate your boss, you don't hate your boss, you homeless, whatever it is, bro. You know, if you got to be able to tell jokes, you want to be able to come in there and support them. So I wanted to be able to have something like that. I wanted to have a platform like that, to have comedians come up there and us to be able to grow as comics. And we, you know, I don't want to say like I've been the most influential, but I'm saying like we've been helping to influence other black comics to come up and to be able to work in our room with our own people to establish our own voice that's not mixed into what the mainstream or what, you know, or what we feel white people might want us to listen to, or what like somebody else might. When you listen to your own voice, it's that's the pure, because when you come to a show, you come in to see Dave Chappelle, you want to hear what Dave Chappelle is thinking about a topic, not like what Dave Chappelle thought Twitters want him to say, you know, or whatever. You want to hear Dave Chappelle raw, uncut. You want to hear Chris Rock raw, uncut. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear those people in that space. So we wanted to create an environment where they could be able to do that. You know, it's about 4 or 5 comics every show, and we try to make sure we get a good amount of people. It's a good vibe always, every time I do the show. I do a Sunday at the Shrine, 6 p.m. Wednesdays and the Easy Lovers in Brooklyn at 9:30 p.m.
Okay.
And so if
you're ever in New York on a Sunday,
so Sunday or Wednesday,
the Shrine.
Yes.
And if you're in there on a Wednesday, where's that place?
At Easy Lovers in Metropolitan Avenue.
Avenue.
Yes. So it's a good vibe. Yeah. We'll be in more cities though. Wherever there's a cluster of black people that want to watch comedy, we gonna be there. We're gonna be there to be able to find you. We're gonna find you a space. Yeah, look at this means business right here. Wherever we feed black people at, you know what I'm saying, brother.
I love it. it.
This means that, yes. When you sign the contract and you slide it across the page. That's like how I'm doing. Yeah, brother, you know what I'm saying. This is what it is.
Denzel and what's his white guy's name?
Which one?
Russell Crowe?
Yes. I love it. I love their movies, man. I love their movies.
Have you got anything you wanna talk about? You wanna just get out there. You know what I'm saying? This is your time.
Well, first off, I want to thank y'all for having me on your podcast, man. Clap it up. You clap it up for us. You know what I'm saying? In general, I appreciate y'all having me on your podcast. Coming all the way across the pond to to do this.
Yeah.
Yes. But the thing I want to just talk about in general is we're in April now, but like Juneteenth will be coming up soon. It's a holiday the last state let slaves free on June 19th in 1867.
Wow.
Or something like that. And I wanted to talk about ways that we could be able to celebrate Juneteenth in the correct way. Not that there's any wrong way. It's a day that we all get paid now in America to go home and just be with your family on that day.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This mic's just playing up. So on June 19th.
Yeah, it's called Juneteenth. So for June 19th.
Juneteenth. That's what I've got to tell you. Juneteenth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Back in the day. Explain that clearer to me because you speak with the fuck.
So June.
Because I just hear that they send you home and they pay you. Is that like reparations or some sort?
No. Definitely not. It's a national holiday, meaning even white people get to go home.
And get paid as well. Yeah,
yes.
What's that?
Yes. But no, so Juneteenth was a day that like, they would say it almost, they would call them Hotep black people. We were the people who would celebrate that because that was the last day in Texas. That was the last state to ratify slavery. So they had ended slavery on June 19th. I'm going to say 1867 or something. Somewhere around there, the late 1860s.
Okay.
And so so people adopted it across the world as a day to celebrate for all people in America, most Americans, that day for independent, like our Independence Day, So the crazy thing is my mother and father was married on that day, June 19th. So we always celebrated it. Yeah. Didn't even understand why when I was younger. Wow. But then the older I got, my father would talk to me about the importance of Juneteenth. And that day, we always used that day to plan as a family, how can we be able to contribute back to our communities? And I feel like that's a big thing that we all should be able to do. Like even regardless of whatever day it is, even if you don't have even if it's your state's, even if it's your country's national holiday, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, just say like is you're Nigerian, like let's say like whatever Nigeria, whatever.
More Nigeria. Yeah. You said the magic word. Give me 3.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Come on. Even on your Independence Day, like that day, yes, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna eat, have a good time, as we always do. But like, let's spend that morning, spend that afternoon, let's spend that time to not only congregate with each other, but with people like other families. How are we going to be able to move forward and contribute back to our communities and back to how we can just make things easier? Just no fighting, no arguing while we playing spades or wherever, that's this game we play in America. Play spades and all that other stuff. But like while you playing your card games or whatever you're doing, that's just the conversation we should have. We should start that early. It's April now, so I want by the time June come, I just want to see pictures of people in their family, just like, yeah, man, this is us talking about how we going the small thing, just opening up a black-owned, opening up a bank account with a black-owned bank, or like us just us going out to eat at a black-owned restaurant.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Something small. Like on June 19th, we should have like every black-owned restaurant in our areas should just be filled with us. Chilling there, just eating and doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like just even though they supposed to be having a day off too. But food is different. Yeah. Now food you can't never have a day off. But any other day, you know what I'm saying? Have the white co-workers working that day. You know what I'm saying? But just as long as the jerk chicken gonna be right, that's what we care about. As long as you care about.
Open a whole nother thing for me now.
Yeah.
You still got more time. You still want to go
on? I got more time. Let me see. Exactly.
You good? I was about about to wrap him up just there, but now I want to ask him about the different kind of cultures in New York.
Yeah.
That's how I can't lead it out. But as you said that to me now, because I know there's you mentioned it, but I know New York to be a very diverse place.
Yeah.
Almost like London.
Yep.
If not exactly the same. And you've got the Caribbeans, you've got all different kind of demographics there. How does that work out for you? And how has that enabled you to enjoy life? Or what's your experience of that kind of stuff, man?
I mean, it's you experience a lot of pain in it. I'm gonna say first, you experience a lot of pain because like I was raised a certain way. So I was raised that, like, you know, even though we all from different nations and stuff like that, we still one people. So like we all part of the diaspora in general. Like that's what they call the Africans that left Africa in general. No matter where you went to, you were part of the diaspora. So I always viewed it like that. So when I would meet Caribbeans and other people who probably didn't view me in that light, it was whatever. But I learned more. And I always feel like, you know, even though if I met one a-hole person, you know what I'm saying, as long as I got to learn something from that area, and learning how to like learning other black cultures, I think is important to building. Like when you're trying to,
it's imperative, I think.
Yeah. I feel like, hey man, come in here and like doing stand up to other black people here or hanging with other black people here. I get to learn about this how y'all.
That was gonna be my question. You answered yours. Like, what do you feel like London has been like? What's it been like for you?
Finish this one and then get that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but just vibing with other people. It's been dope because I'll go to Jamaican places, like Jamaican restaurants, hang with Jamaicans. The place I do stand up at the Shrine is owned by I believe they're from Nigeria.
The Shrine, of course.
In Harlem.
Shrine. They put the Shrine. You know the Shrine is a Fela Kuti thing.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes,
We've got the Shrine now. The penny just dropped. We
Yeah.
have a Shrine in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And it said that was Fela's place where he smoked and performed everything.
Yeah.
So as you said, it just the penny just dropped.
We have one in Harlem. Yeah.
Yeah.
One in Harlem. And I do a show every Sunday there. Every Sunday 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Well, give me 3 more. Just to be so close to the Nigerian diaspora. Come on. Come on.
I love it.
Got me excited now. So,
But yeah, I try to like just make sure I connect with as many as I can, because like I only learn, you know what I'm saying? Like when I went to Ghana, it was the first time ever in Africa. I had met Ghanaians before, but I never had been there. Like, you know, being there, I got to converse with them, and then when I would come back to America, like I would talk to, you know, Nigerians, Tanzanians, and South Africans, and those are mostly the Africans who's in America, you know. But like I'll speak to Liberians, if people from Benin, all of that type of stuff. So like
quite a mix, man.
Yeah. So like sometimes but when you're in America, kind of like, even though like you're Nigerian, when you come across, it's kind of like when you see another African in general, it's just like, man, we all, you know, we both African, even though we from two different parts of Africa.
Do you know any
it's kind of like,
in DC? Do you know any musicians in DC? Like African?
Not really. At the spot, man, like I only come to do the stand up most of the time. When I used to come through and I would listen to the bands, but like they would do Afro beats and like and reggae and soca and stuff like that. But like I never really got to like to get everybody. But I this one dude a few times a year, he comes and he'll play the music for me before we do our show, and like he'll play music while we're doing show stuff. But he's the only dude I know. Like it's the only dude I know, and he comes through. He always shows love. But it's a good dude. It's a good dude. But like I want to get more known with all of them.
I'll take your social. I'll link you up with my cousin Kanja.
Okay, cool. That I would love that. That's good. That's good. I love to be able to link up with other people of color.
Come on.
Yeah, I love it because I think it's so dope. Every time we do it, you end up learning so much.
Yeah.
You'd be like, come on, like if you didn't know how to play spades, even though. In Black America, they don't really teach you how to play spades. Yeah. But that's the rule. We don't teach you how to play spades. They just beat you down. Yeah. But it's like, it's cool when you get to come there and you learn about, like, you know, whatever. You learn about like how to play spades, how to like dance, our local dances. When I went to Ghana, I learned a little bit of their dances and stuff. Yeah. So it was fire. Like to even learn their language, slang, all of that. That's like. It's kind of like it make you feel like, man, like more and more complete as you continue to keep going on that journey. And it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And then you kind of, when you
Knowledge
go
is
back,
refreshing. Knowledge is very refreshing.
Man, and it's also like the best thing, because when you meet like a younger person and they tell you and they have like a closed mind, and they be like, oh man, but black people everywhere, we only like this. It's like, man, we a lot of people. We a lot, like, bro, we like 2 billion people on this planet. Fam, it's a lot of us. So we ain't monolithic. We ain't in one way, shape, or form. We all come in all different form. You at least 6'2". I'm 5'8".
Whoa.
I'm talking about height.
I know. I'm 6'3".
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", man.
6'3". I'm sorry, brother. I said at least 6'2". At least at the minimum. You're 6'2". Yeah, but I'm like 5'8". So like, we all come in different shapes, size, tall, small. Some of us funny, some people not, some people serious, some people, whatever. So like, that's
some
my
people
thing.
nice, some people not. You got very good energy.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I try to keep it like that. Try to keep it like
good
that.
Energy, man.
Thank you, brother.
This gentleman asked you a question about
just
being in London.
What's it been like for you in London, and how could you compare it to life in New York and Maryland?
So this kind of reminds me. Okay, when I got where I was staying over is by.
Where you staying again? Oh yeah, you messed me up this morning.
I was like Steam Hill. He was like Stream Hill, right?
Streatham Hill. You like Steam Hill,
Stretcham Hill?
No, you be like Streatham Hill.
Yo.
Streatham Hill, man.
All
Not
right.
Stream Hill. You like Stream Hill. Like where? What country?
I'm like right there. I'm like
right near Brixton. I'm like,
right next to Brixton. Yeah.
No, but Streatham Hill. Sorry, I'm not mocking you enough. It's just, it's an action thing.
No, that's cool. It's cool. When I first got here, I was like, man, this is a white ass city. I'm good. Like I was like, 4 days in, I was like, I ain't really see too many black people. I'm not vibing. The most black people I seen was the night I got there on that Tuesday.
Wow. And you're in Brixton.
And then I went to do the no, but I wasn't there yet. I was staying with a friend, and then I got my own Airbnb on that side of town. Yeah. So when I was coming over there, I was like, oh, this remind me of DC a little bit. This a little bit. If anybody on H Street, it's a lot of black people over on H Street, but then like it's just a lot of shops, just a lot of stuff. I'm right on that street over there. So I mean up here in London. So I was kind of like, man, I saw it was a market over there. I went over there just walking around, and I was like, man, this remind me, like, I was like, I could live here. I couldn't live in the other parts. I was kind of like, yeah, this of it all over there is stupid. But here, I like that. I like that part. I was much more. It was a jerk chicken spot over there. The jerk chicken was good. And British food, I'm gonna say British food is not as good. But the every other people like Indian, Chinese, the Caribbeans, African restaurants. I'm trying to find anybody with seasoning out here. Anybody with seasoning, baby. Let me run up on you.
You had any fish and chips?
Not yet. I was gonna go. Huh?
Yeah.
Did you have?
I've had like
it makes you feel like that.
These mud pie. It's supposed to be like mashed potato type pie or something like that.
Pie and mash.
Yeah, pie mash.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Why they give you pie and mash, bro?
They gave me
Even
that.
I don't really like pie and mash, bro.
I had this like Italian sausage type of thing too. That was pretty good. It was at Borough Market.
Borough Market. Oh yeah, you've been eating in them funny places. Bro.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I know, see, but that's why I made sure. Like I'm gonna stop with the brothers. I need to find where I can eat at, fam.
I'm places, bro.
Yeah.
But that's like generic. That's like what you know? That's like Baja Fresh and all them things.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah. No,
but that's why I didn't want to judge the city. I was like, I know I'm not in the right spot. I was like, it's cool. I'm gonna go to some spot. Yeah. But when I was in I don't even remember the place, but it's a Wednesday night comedy show, like northern part of the center of London. No, I don't even remember the name of the place, but it's called Old Tiger Head is the name of the spot.
No.
Is it Dawson or Shoreditch?
Huh?
Shoreditch or Dawson?
I wouldn't even know.
East London?
I'm going to say it was east more, but it was like on the other side. So where I'm at is the center of London, like by London Bridge.
I met him in Soho. His show was in Soho.
Yeah. So it was further up than that. I had to take the overground.
The people that are coming, that affiliated, most of them are from South.
Yeah.
Most of these affiliates that I met him through is like, remember Booker, Junior Booker, South, and then that's the
funny
same
comic
kind
too,
of clique.
by the way. Funny
We've had he's done a podcast. He's done a podcast the other day. It's not been released yet.
I'm thinking because there's comedy. I'm surprised there's been to Camden comedy clubs.
Uh-huh.
Comedy clubs in Dawson.
So I did. So I'm doing Camden tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do Camden tomorrow. Thursday I do Backyard Comedy Club.
Oh yeah,
Backyard. So that's I do that. And
Motherfucker,
then,
where's the invites, man? Shit,
I don't even know how to.
I invite this black man to my show. What's going on? I got a little bit American there, didn't I?
Tonight,
motherfucker, man, no, you didn't. You didn't come up
tonight,
in this motherfucker
but tonight
and
I'm
not
doing,
invite my ass.
I'm dead.
Shit.
Tonight I'm gonna go out to back to Soho. I'm gonna do a show. So I have like a bunch of my friends. If y'all want to come, please.
Oh, it's
please,
Tuesday
bro.
today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tonight. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
How
Yeah.
did you set up your tour here?
Huh?
How did you get shows here when you before you came?
I just emailed him, hit him up. You know what I'm saying? Like I just was like, well, see, I'm in the toughest market in comedy in New York, so it's like being a New York City comedian, I can kind of like just
talk to anyone.
You know, I'll hit people up, and I had people vouch for me. That's kind of like how comedy
like
works.
Like a good father.
Yeah. So like if you're funny, it's like let's say he has a good relationship with you, he has a show, but you know me. He don't know me. I hit him up, and then he's gonna be like, well, motherfucker, I don't know you. Like, is you funny? And even if I send him a tape, he may not have the space right then and there. But if you hit him up and you go, hey, that brother's funny,
Check this guy out,
he gonna be like this because your word is so good. He'll be like, all right, man, I'm gonna take him on. I'll at least give him an opportunity. And then if I suck, then from there it don't really hurt.
Your word don't.
It don't really matter no more.
Yeah.
Because then once he see me in person, he'll be like, I mean, he ain't funny. That's cool. Like, I ain't gonna ever book that dude again. But now, like, once you get that one opportunity, you do well. They're like, oh, they'll come. Sometimes they'll let you do a weekend and stuff like that. So, yeah. So that's kind of how that goes in comedy.
It's good.
But it takes so long just to get to know the people to direct you to the right person.
Is the money good when you're doing it abroad?
Yeah. Well, first of all, y'all money is worth more than American money. So like any money that you get in general is gonna be worth more. So even if it was like, say if they had gave me like a few £100 or something like that, that's like it's like a what is it, like the conversion rate now is like $1.07. So like so just for me to do nothing here, I paid $1.07. I paid $1.70. Just nothing. This if I bought nothing, it's $1.70. Right. If you get what I'm saying. Okay, no. I'm saying it. Okay, so say if this is £1, right?
£1,
so for £1, I spent $2.70 in conversion to your money. Wow, okay. So it's so everything is like that. Yeah. So it's kind of like. So you just make, yeah. So every time I come here, I mean, well, now every time from here on out, I come here, I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, I know that I'm gonna make a little bit more money here. If I charge £15, I'm like, I'm good. You know. So it's kind of like that. Yeah. But the club pays you whatever their price is, and then I usually, they usually negotiate a better deal when you're an American. They're like, oh, he's an American? Yeah, so we gonna come up out, we can get you a place to stay, all of that stuff. So it's like, that's good. Yeah.
So wait a minute, let's get this right. This is gonna go. This is gonna go out after these shows have been shown anyway.
That's cool.
But I'm just letting you know. But I'm gonna try and get to the show. So you got a show tonight.
I got a show tonight. I got it tomorrow night, and I got Thursday. But Thursday, I think, will be the most important thing. Thursday, Backyard, and tonight. Feels too.
Where's Backyard again? Camden.
Man, I don't even know.
Backyard is where I know that Backyard Comedy Store.
Dave Chappelle performed there a few times, and
I've heard of it. I don't know where it is, but
it's with Kojo.
Man, I don't know.
Google it.
You don't know Kojo?
Kojo the comedian.
No.
But probably is that.
Cambridge Heath Road.
What?
Cambridge Heath Road.
Where's that?
Cambridge Heath Road. Ain't that Hackney?
E2, Bethnal Green.
Oh,
Yeah. It's east. Yeah,
So
east.
is that far?
Probably, it might be Kojo, but I know that place. But I think it's world renowned though. The Backyard Comedy Club, mate.
Yeah, yo, they put their clips.
Thing.
Yeah, they put their clips up online, man. I be seeing it in America. I be like, yo,
I think Backyards.
This was the most. That was the show. That was the first place I hit up when I came over here. Outside of some comics I knew, that was the first place I hit up. I was like, when they told me, I was like, all right, cool. I'm in there. I'm in there, baby. I was like, I'm posting this all over the gram. Yeah. So
come on.
Yeah.
So we need to get you out there. Cause we can keep talking.
Let's go. I mean,
but I'm getting to the end of my thing. We're gonna have to fly you back out.
Might do part 2 before he leaves. You know?
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe we can get that in the part 2 before you leave. But anything else you want to say or anything you want to get out there right now? I know did this you once already, and what you said was so poignant and beautiful.
I appreciate
it's gonna sit there nicely. You know
what
I'm saying?
No. I appreciate all of y'all, man. Just everybody stay black, man. Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good life. love your family members, all of that good stuff.
That's good. Love
That's all I
yourself
say.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Thank you. Yes, and love yourself. It's yes, brother. That's love yourself as well.
Come
Love yourself
on.
first. Love your family members. Do good. That's all we
Ishmael,
Thank you,
comedian.
brother.
I need another free, bro.
want. Yes.
Give me free, bro. Give me free, bro. Come on, let's
Love it,
Ishmael
love
the
it.
comedian. I'm so happy to have you.
Yes.
Voice
Thank
by
you
the
so much,
camera,
brother.
Wizard, and IO Fawole. It's Life Talks. Thank you so
Thank
much.
y'all so
man.
much, brother.
No, thank you.